Welcome everybody. Welcome back to the third try here. I see we got Stu on the line. Stu, are you there? Oh, please tell me you can hear me. What's going on here?
I can hear you, bro.
All right, perfect.
You haven't got the YouTube stream on, though.
All right, that's right. No, actually, I do have it on. It's on.
Huh?
Yeah, it's on.
Oh, is it? Oh, it's not on mine yet.
All right. Well, we're supposed to be live, I guess. Let me see here. Scholar B Major. Scholar, are you watching us? Let us know in the chat room. Because from what I see, we are on the air. Yeah, there you go. Guerrero de la Info says loud and clear. All right. All right.
Music. Where's your music, man?
Yeah, because I put the music in the beginning just to have something to cover the sound.
Is that signal holding up a bit better now, BDA?
Yes, it would appear so. It would appear
that's
so.
why when you don't turn your box off for a while, it's all you can set.
Yeah, I think all the porn gets clogged up in there.
Yeah, you've probably done all your bandwidth downloading all that gay
Okay, come on.
porn.
Hey, listen, I work in the industry, man. I gotta keep up with what's going on out there. Industry trends.
Fuck it, man. I fucking work. Have you got some nice?
All right. Are you there, BDA?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
So where did we leave off, man? We were talking about Lomachenko. Again, it's interesting that both, what's his name? Brook and Lomachenko sort of underperformed a little bit. Like we said, Lomachenko didn't really underperform. He only underperformed if you expect him to look invincible every time out. He actually did pretty good in there. Like I said, won 9 rounds out of 12, dropped the guy, almost stopped him. So I guess the question, and Apology asked that question before we went off the air, where does Lomachenko, who can beat Lomachenko? I guess the question should be really, where does Lomachenko go from here? Because there's no super fight in the horizon.
That fight last night was for a unified title fight, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, supposedly.
Sorry?
Supposedly.
Yeah,
it
was.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, that was a unified title fight. That was a champion, a world champion fought, and he won 9-10 rounds, and he dropped the guy badly in the 11th. So it's still a decent performance, decent win, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? That's how you got to look at it. You know, Terence Crawford fought a nobody the other day. A guy that's not fought for he was an exciting prospect. He was. Neptune had one leg on the night, and he struggled with this guy. He was getting tagged up all night, hitting with big shots, and Lomachenko didn't really get tagged up badly. He was taking more shots than I'd like to have seen, but it was his performance was a lot better performance than Terence Crawford's last performance. But we don't hear anything about Crawford's performance. We hear how great he is, and he's the pound for pound number 1 now.
Absolutely. And what's the combined record of Lomachenko's last 5, 6, 7 opponents? I mean, that's a pretty fucking good resume right there, man. And the fact that he keeps stopping these guys. Oh, I mean, of course, Pedraza, he couldn't stop him, but almost did.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Go on, but BDA, sorry.
Well, yeah, I was just saying that how... you look at the combined record of everybody he's fought in his last 5, 6, 7 fights, and then the fact that he has stopped most of them, made him quit, stopped them, knocked them out. I do agree. I still think he's the number 1 pound for pound fighter in the world. I don't see why not.
Did they take that from Mayweather when he looked like shit against Baldomir, for example? Do we take that off Mayweather? Fuck.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
he won every round, but the crowd was booing. They were walking out, and he was running all night. Loma went at a bigger guy. Look, he's coming off a shoulder surgery. Jared Hurd, coming off a shoulder surgery, wants to fight 2 bums. He's coming off a shoulder surgery, fighting a unification fight, one of the top dogs in the division, right?
Yeah.
Wins just about every round. puts him on his ass. I thought he could have finished him, but you know, you're coming off a fucking shoulder surgery. Take it easy, man. I mean, you got all these other top fighters fighting bums. Like he overperformed, in my opinion, man. Because
Great point about Jared Hurd.
You know what I mean?
Great point about Jared Hurd. He fought a British bum with 6 defeats. So, you know, he did. He fought.
And he wants another one. He wants another one.
Oh man, that's disgraceful. It is disgraceful. I mean, come on, listen, Lomachenko. I don't buy the hype that, because there were people that were overhyping him in the sense that, oh, he can go up to welterweight, he can beat this guy, he can beat that guy. But like, listen, lightweight is really his threshold right now. But that's my question is though, there's no apparent super fight. Mikey Garcia is going to be fighting Errol Spence. Pacquiao is with the PBC now. That fight's probably not going to happen. So what do you guys think? What should Lomachenko do from here on out? Just keep winning, staying busy, hoping that somebody comes along that could make
Call everybody out. Call everybody out, especially Tank Davis. Let's get that fight.
Yeah, because them guys have come out the woodwork, talking Tank up again, talking, you know, like he's gonna walk through Lomachenko, destroy him with their fires. Hey, bring your guy on, have another fallen soldier, shall we say? Because you know they said the same about Rigondeaux. Well, it's true, isn't it? It's going to be another fallen soldier on their behalf. They said the same about Rigondeaux. They said the same about Walters. They said the same about fucking Wilder the other day. How great
Robert
he
Easter
was.
Jr. Lomachenko's docking Robert Easter Jr. I mean, come on. He didn't do shit against Garcia.
They keep telling us how great these guys are, and this look, Tyson Fury, according to them, had no chance. Do you know what I mean? So I don't care what these fucking clowns say, because I know for a fact Tank Davis would get beat up. Davis is the sort of guy that'll get disheartened quick.
Exactly.
He won't be like Pedraza. Well, he'll get disheartened quick, mate. His game plan will go out the window. He'll start feeling sorry for himself, and he'll get beat up. Trust me.
Like Precise said, Pedraza was tagging him up when they fought, and Lomachenko has made tough guys that were mentally tough, quit. And I tell you, Tank Davis doesn't seem like he's all there mentally. I think he quits against Lomachenko.
Let me say something. That's sorry, apology. I'll let you go next. That's probably going to be controversial, and especially people in the chat are going to fucking throw a hissy fit. Lomachenko hits harder than Tank Davis when he wants to, with everything else being equal. Because I watched the Pedraza fight before coming on the show, so I wouldn't be talking out of my ass. The Tank Pedraza fight, and Pedraza walks into a perfect left uppercut to the body from Tank Davis and doesn't even fucking flinch. Loma lands a body shot like that, you go down. Like Tank Davis loads up on all of his punches, and by the time it's round 6 or 7, they're not that powerful anymore. Loma takes it easy, and then when he has a perfect shot, then he sits down on it, and he's dangerous all the way up till round 12. In my personal opinion, based on what I saw, them fighting the same guy, Loma hits harder than Tank Davis, in my opinion.
Real quick, I think the Tank Davis fight, I really don't want to see it at the moment, because Tank hasn't shown me anything that makes me think he has any chance to beat Loma. Like, he's lazy, he's fat, he's slow, his cardio is atrocious. So it's going to be a mismatch. And to Precise's point, like, Tank Davis had a sitting heavy bag in front of him. So of course it's going to look like he hits harder. Like, Pedraza was showing no movement. He wasn't like slipping or trying to get at the end of the punches or take anything off the punches. So obviously he's going to hit. He's going to look like he's going to hit harder.
The thing is as well, Pedraza looked massive in there. Tank Davis is smaller than Lomachenko. I mean, Tank is going to be... I mean, this is a Pedraza that's comfortable at the weight. You know, he looked massive in there. He was a lot bigger than Lomachenko on the night. He's going to be a lot bigger than Tank. And if he fights like that, Tank's going to have a hell of a lot of trouble. I don't care what anyone says. I'd pick Pedraza at that weight, his comfortable weight, to beat Tank Davis, because Tank struggles with that sort of style. I mean, Pedraza just fought the wrong game plan. 2 weeks in camp, I believe he had for that. He was obviously weight dragging, because can you imagine how he was struggling? He must have been struggling. He must have been to make the weight. So there's a lot of factors in that Davis fight, but Davis has not gone on to do really anything. He's struggled with bums. I've seen him struggle with bums a couple of times. He's not looked good. He's been criticised, booed in the crowd, and this is the guy that's going to beat Lomachenko because a guy managed to pity patter him a few times in a couple of rounds.
And he's,
unbelievable.
He looks like a bit of a mental midget, Tank Davis. By the way, before we get to recognize, because he just came in, I see Cameron's been very quiet even before we had our technical deficiencies. Cameron, are you getting a tattoo or are you just listening to the show? What's going on here?
Nah, not till Thursday, man. Thursday and Friday, I'm getting tired. But
fucking
I'm just
swastika.
listening to the show, man. I mean, I kind of echo everything everyone's saying. Like, if I feel, like I just got nothing to add, man, really, because I disagree with what everyone's saying. To what Apology's saying, I've got to say one thing. In terms of the mismatch being with Tank, I think anybody Loma fights at lightweight is going to be a mismatch. So I'll just put Tank in there simply because the fact he's unbeaten, he's an up-and-coming fighter. A lot of people have got a lot of sort of hype on Tank. So like Stu said, put Tank in there. Let's see what he's got. Let's see what he's made of. I mean, people say he's not ready for Loma. He's had like 400 amateur fights, Tank Davis himself. He's ready for that fight. So put him in there and see what he's like.
And we'll see. Confident they always get made. We'll see how confident, because they always talk about these fights, but when they get made, they go quiet, don't they? Have you noticed that? Fight week, they go really quiet.
They do.
Well, they start making excuses, premeditated excuses. Rigo does too small. Even before the fight happened, they started mentioning that. They're going to come up with something. I guess the height difference or something. I don't know.
Butcher, nobody makes more excuses
for the record. Go ahead, bro.
Sorry, go on, Pete. No, because I interrupted Cameron I just wanted him to carry on. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I had to get that bit in there.
No, I was done, man, anyway.
I just wanted to say for the record, Davis did not knock out Pedraza. He knocked him down. The guy gets up, and the referee waves it off. He could have done the same thing in the Lomachenko fight. I'm glad he didn't, but I mean, like, he didn't knock him out. So let's not get it.
PBC refs.
Exactly.
PBC ref. All right.
Well, they wave everything off. Unexpected stoppages in the corner out of nowhere. I mean, injuries.
Yeah, they're like traffic cops. They're waving all day long. All right, we got Recognize on the line. Oh shit.
Don't get fooled when they tell you that the crime rate is down in New York.
hold on. We gotta start over again.
That's John Gonzalez's intro.
BDA, that's perfect. What are you doing?
All right, sorry. Jeez. No, it's not going well today from the technical standpoint. All right, hold on.
Well, don't get fooled when they tell you that the crime rate is down in New York. Every time I watch the local news, they're always talking about, well, there was a stabbing here, there was a stabbing there, there was a shooting there, but the crime is down.
All right, that's better. Clean cut intro. All right.
What was that scream?
I don't know, man. It's the one I use when we make the spousal abuse jokes. We use this sound effect.
This Low Places intro.
It actually went well with Recognize's intro, though, because Recognize is about crime in New York. And then you got that scream in the background.
That's what
Hey, Recognize. I saw you in the Low Place Hangouts a bit. What the hell? How was that experience?
Oh, that was fun, man. That was fun. That was funny because they were attacking Low Place because he was impressed by Lomachenko, as I was. So I guess because he was impressed, I guess he liked that come forward style and blocking all those punches at the same time. Yeah, you're gonna get hit when you're that.
Yeah, Recognize. I have 2 questions for you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh shit!
Man.
Yeah.
Apology.
First of all, did he have his shirt on this time?
Yeah, he did.
And secondly, did X take my career advice?
Career advice?
I don't know. He should.
Yeah, he should.
Did anyone? I'll tell you. I got Low Place sent me a link the other day on Hangouts. He sends them. I think he sends them to the group chats. He goes live now, talking about something about. He says like something about the LDBC. I am the LDBC. I think to myself, what the fuck?
Yeah, the lion or something like. What the hell? Is he losing
Alright.
it more, even more?
Are we gonna keep talking about this mentally ill guy every time we come on the fucking show, man? Come on.
It's my fault. I brought him up. I'm sorry.
It's always precise.
Yeah.
Besides,
So
it's your fault,
BDA,
yes. It is
yeah,
precise.
BDA. Do you want to hear my career advice, or do you want to move on?
Yeah, let's move on. Apology. Let's move on.
Apology is like the life guru now. Like,
What do you mean?
Yeah.
giving
Apology.
advice.
Apology.
Apology wants X to wear a wig and prostitute himself out there. And,
No, it's
Hey,
not. It's not like.
apology.
No way.
You still. Apology, you still got a school, bro. What advice are you gonna give us?
It's a good career advice. No, listen,
Make that advice. Stay away from
No, listen. You get a barrel, right? You get a barrel. You put it over your head. you carve a hole through it, right? You go on the side walk in a busy day, probably in the like weekdays where everyone's working. You get like a box and a sign saying blowjob for £5. Like, since no one can see you, right? You can pretend to be a girl and you'll rack up money so quickly.
Apology. Recognise in the chat. Sorry, not recognise. X is in the chat saying, "Oh, everyone shot up." But basically, X in the chat saying, "Burn in hell."
Apology. What a great business.
Except me and you.
What a great business brain Apology's got. I mean, what?
Yeah, I think we should move on from that because I can see that X is hacking the
X is in the chat saying "Burn in hell" to Apology and says, "Screw you."
I think Apology should take that idea. You should take that idea to the Dragon's Den. I think they might buy it. You know
Exactly.
Oh man! All right, listen. Apology.
You can't see the guy in the barrel, so you can pretend to be a woman. Like, you can work your own hours. Like, it's great career advice.
And we all know nobody wants to see X's little ugly face. You're right about that.
All right, I don't know why you guys keep picking on him. I don't know why you guys keep picking on X. The man is clearly keeping him down. He's been victimized his whole life because of his skin color, and I think you guys are just piling on. And I disagree.
His bad habits have keeping him.
Listen. The barrel overhead will protect him from the discrimination because you can't tell what skin color he is.
All right, listen. Let's move on because we do have a lot to cover here. Lomachenko. So, what else is there to say about Lomachenko? I think we all know that the bar is set very high.
I didn't give my opinion, so can I give it quickly?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
All right, so it was a great performance. He was going for the knockout from, I want to say from like the fourth round on. And to have that kind of success, this is what I like about Lomachenko. He can switch the tempo according to the fighter, right? And I heard a lot of people say, "Oh, he got exposed, he got hit, he got bruised." Listen, he's light skinned. You know, when you're sort of light, you bruise more, right? If you put the same type of skin texture and the same, skin complexion as Lomachenko, these guys are going to look bruised up too. And actually, wait till the next day. These darker skinned guys are going to show. They're going to show the bruises. They don't show immediately like they would do with Lomachenko. Back to his performance. When was the last time you seen somebody come forward as many times as Lomachenko did?
Good
and
point.
Basically shut him down. I mean, yeah you're going to get hit. You're giving up defense, but he's like blocking these shots, coming in aggressive. I thought it was.
It was like Triple G Jacobs, I thought.
Yeah, but more of there was more finesse to it.
Yeah, more classiness about it. Yeah,
like I wouldn't say classy. I'm not going to say. What I would say is just that it was more flashy. It was like flashier. He's fucking weaving, ducking these punches. He's blocking them with his fists, with his gloves. Excuse me. It was amazing shit. I can't even stress like or break down the performance because I've never seen someone do that before. Pedraza is a middle of the road opponent, but he was disrespecting him and still having that success. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I think that he just wanted to make a statement, and it allowed. I think that it allowed Pedraza to survive. But we saw when he turned it up and he got into a rhythm, Pedraza was basically in survival mode from there on out. He said, "Fuck this." He's like, "I'm just gonna try to survive now."
That's the thing. Yeah, it's true.
And then everybody's bringing up, because this guy Tank stopped Pedraza in 7 rounds. 2 different fights, bro. Pedraza was trying to break. He was trying to break Tank down. He thought, I guess, because he was young, he was just coming forward. He wasn't really using any angles. He was just straightforward coming at him. Caught him with some shots, but was getting counterpunched by a guy who has explosive power when you're coming towards him. And he knocked him out. Different game plan. Pedraza is a different fighter. You get better from a loss, especially a knockout loss.
Absolutely. Some guys do look better, man. And you got to give that's the other thing. People are saying, well, why did Lomachenko look marked up? When you're blocking shots, you got the laces, you got the wraps. I mean, not the wraps. Yeah, the wraps on the outside around the glove. You're blocking. Your own gloves are gonna fucking scrape your face. But he didn't get his. I mean, you got to give Pedraza credit. He let his hands go. Most guys don't even let their hands go against Lomachenko, and Pedraza was letting them go. He was hitting the body. He was hitting the gloves, landing a couple of shots here and there. I actually thought he hurt Lomachenko with a left hook in the. I think it was a 9th or 10th round.
9th or 10th round. I did see that too. And going back to that, I'm sorry, BDA. Even when he got hurt, he took a couple of steps back, just to like reset and then back at it. He's like a fucking martial artist. That's the best way. He's first of all, he's built like one, but he makes boxing look like a martial art. Like that's what he makes it look like, and it's just high level. Listen, boxing. There's always going to be critics. There's always going to be haters of Lomachenko for whatever reason. I don't even want to get into that. But just because a guy went 12 rounds, they don't look at the whole story. Pedraza was trying to avoid getting knocked out. Lomachenko's trying to knock out Pedraza, who's a pretty good fighter. When you're in that scenario, it's almost hard to knock out your fighter, and give Pedraza credit for that. But give Lomachenko the props that he deserves. This is why a guy like Low Place, I'm sorry to bring him up, was impressed, because I really believe he understands boxing in the ring. Like, forget about his opinion. I don't really care too much for it either way.
That's the way we preach. That's right.
But when it comes to recognizing a good fighter, I think he can do that. And the haters are just going to be, they're going to be who they are. They're not going to be truthful about the situation. They're just going to say, well, he went 12 rounds and that means Tank's going to knock him out. Like, they don't understand boxing history. It doesn't work that way. Marvin Hagler went 12, 15 rounds with Duran, and Duran gave him all kind of problems. Duran got stretched by Tommy Hearns. And then Tommy Hearns fought Marvin Hagler, and Marvin Hagler stretched him out in 3 rounds.
That's right.
That's boxing.
Anyone that uses that as an example just doesn't know boxing at all. Styles make fights. It's the most day, and he make fights, and it's true.
Yeah, it's listen. At this point, from a business standpoint, I think the Gervonta Tank Davis fight is the best available fight for Lomachenko. I think I would love to see a Berchelt fight. I really do. I think Berchelt can box a little bit. He's a strong dude, vicious body puncher. I think he's awkward. I think that would be an interesting fight too. But the problem is, Lomachenko, just like Precise said earlier too, like he just has to keep winning, call everybody out, and see what. Because this is the great thing about boxing is, just when you think there's no mega fight left for a certain fighter, somebody new always pops up. And I think if Gervonta Davis can start looking good in his next couple of fights, they could set up a big fight. Lomachenko and Tank Davis. I think that would be a very good fight. I think they could do it at Madison Square Garden or the Barclays Center, whatever. I think that would draw a very good crowd.
It would.
Butcher,
fight.
Butcher, should we move on to the upset from last night as well? Isaac Dogboe.
Oh, yeah.
Isaac Dogboe ended up losing to a Mexican whom a lot of people didn't know about. Navarrete, I forget his first name. Navarrete, and man, from the onset, Navarrete was just landing some vicious body shots. He was slow-handed, but he was landing his shots. He had good timing, good precision, and he just beat Dogboe up. I was surprised. Dogboe did a little bit of a comeback in the middle rounds, but he just got cleaned up. And again, we got to go back to fucking people overhyping certain fighters because who was it in this panel? Was it Trap Media? I think who said that Dogboe could beat everybody under 126 pounds. And I'm thinking, come on, I mean, he beat Cesar Juarez, knocked him out, who's a very good fighter. He beat Magdaleno, very good performance as well. But we never really saw him against that technically sound puncher. And even though Navarrete was very sloppy himself, it was just, come on, to say that he's the best fighter at under 26 pounds. I mean, come on, it's. What did you guys think? Did you guys see the fight?
I mean, I come on a podcast here a little while ago, and I actually tipped Dogboe to have a nice year next year. I really enjoy the way he fights, but that doesn't mean that he's not limited. He does get hit when he's coming in, and he's far too small for that division.
5'2",
bro. Listen, that guy had an 8-inch reach advantage.
That's my height. Huge, man. He was huge.
8 inches, and you can't give that away at world level and expect to win. There's a reason we have weight division. Dogboe has no business in that division whatsoever. He's got some massive fights at 118. It's probably a better division. So he'd be better off going down and fighting. I mean, to be honest with you, on that performance, I think Anui would starch him. Do you know what I mean? But he has a far better chance at 118 than he does there, because that last night looked like that he was fighting a guy like 2 divisions above him, and the size difference really mattered in that fight for me.
Yeah, he's in a bit of a lose-lose situation because he's very short for the division, but he's a strong dude. So if he moved down to 118, he might have to lose some of that fucking muscle mass. Otherwise, it might hinder his performances. The other thing is, listen, Dogboe is a very good fighter. He knocked out Cesar Juarez. Nonito Donaire couldn't stop Juarez. And that Filipino guy, I forgot his name. Fuck. But very fast-handed, heavy-handed guy as well. He got starched by Cesar Juarez. Meanwhile, Dogboe took him out in 5 rounds. And he also beat Magdaleno. Very, very impressive performance. But you just never know how a guy... That's what you want to see. Again, just to go back to Lomachenko, he's fought all sorts of styles, right? Sluggers, punchers, boxers, movers, the whole package. So I wanted to see Dogboe. You can never judge a fighter unless he fights all sorts of styles. And Dogboe hadn't fought somebody like Navarrete yet. And is it possible he had a bit of a night off as well? Because he just looked... No defense whatsoever, really. He was just eating punches.
I don't think he'd ever beat that guy.
Yeah, the way he got beat up,
he's
I don't
too
know.
big, man.
The physical attributes to beat him. He's not. He doesn't. That guy. He's a decent boxer as it is, and he's just much bigger. And there's a reason we have weight divisions.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I don't think it would have mattered. I mean, let's be real. Dogboe's face. I mean, it looked terrible.
Yeah, he got fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, his face was a real mess. One of the worst boxing injuries I've seen for a while in the ring, and this, I mean, it was quite sad to see.
Brain damage.
Yeah, it was quite sad to see because, like I said, I really tipped this guy to have an exciting year because I do like the ones it on the line. I love that, but just technically too limited. I mean, he's got to find other ways of getting inside. You can't just walk forward in straight lines, crouching down, and expect not to get pieced
Stuart,
up.
when you're 5'2", man, what can he even if he tries to jab his way in, he might have success against certain fighters, but he's gonna get countered. He's gonna get
like a Mike Tyson, and fucking leap in and
Mike Tyson is much faster than these dudes. That's what it
maybe that's his best way. Just rush, because when you rush a fighter, it's very hard for him to time you. So maybe that's his best. Just rush him like Carl Froch used to do. He rushes in that fast that the time you see him coming, it's hard to get the counter in. But the way he was just coming forward in straight lines, and he just didn't get out of the way of that right hand all night, did he? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I mean,
listen, should have been stopped in the 12th round.
Yeah, should have.
Yeah, man. He was getting, dude. He looked like he was almost brain damaged. Like, I was just looking at his eyes. I was like, damn, this dude he took a beating.
You're right there, Rick.
It was like when Fernando Vargas in the end of the 9th round against Trinidad.
Oh boy!
He gave a great round. And George Foreman says, "Boy, it's looking tough for Vargas." It was just such a spoiler alert. It was so bad. It was like, damn. I know you guys
I,
cheering, but it's looking bad for Vargas right now.
I tell you, Dogboe looked worse than that guy. Who's the guy that Resto cheated with the padding in his gloves? That Billy, what's his?
Oh wait, you're talking
Billy
about
Collins.
Yeah.
Billy Collins. Dogboe had better, worse injuries than Billy Collins. That guy had no padding in his fucking gloves.
But yeah,
I
man.
think Meldrick Taylor, man. I was just seeing Meldrick Taylor in his eyes.
Yeah, his
It
eyes
was
were
just-
like both of them were just horrible.
I don't
Recognize his,
know, Andre Berto against Guerrero.
God,
recognize his
Oh,
right, man.
he's
That beating that he was taking, Dogboe, it's the type of beating that could potentially lead to a brain injury like Stevenson's. You know, like they're not taking knockout blows, they're not getting stunned with every punch, but it's the shots are so flush and so you know, they're coming in all the time, every 5 seconds, every 10 seconds, he's getting hit with something, snapping his head back. Those are the type of beatings that can lead to long-term injuries.
Yeah.
Very dangerous, man.
Yeah.
Very dangerous.
You know what's a sign is the glazed eyes. Obviously, if we see that in a guy, you can see that dazed look at the same time, like they're dazed. Even if he's standing, maybe look. I'm not saying I'm not no fucking boxing cupcake that needs to. Oh, let's protect the fighters. They know what they're getting themselves into. But if it was me and I see that in a family member or a fighter that I care about, I'm gonna be like, I'm stopping this fight because.
I thought his father fucked up, man. When you said that, that reminded me. Like, his dad was he's a piece of shit, man. He should have stopped that fucking fight.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, precise. It remind me of precise. It remind me of Rosado Triple G when the guy's like, "Your son's gonna die, man." After
Yeah,
fighting
yeah,
you
him."
killed my
yeah.
son. Yeah.
Yo, stop the fight before my son gets killed.
Hey, speaking
Yeah,
of
before he
Trinidad,
gets brain damage.
Because like he had no chance of winning that fight, man, and he was just
No,
he couldn't see shit. He couldn't fucking see the punches come in. I was pissed off watching that fight. It was a great fight, don't get me wrong, but the kind of stoppages that they pull when somebody gets knocked down, you're gonna let this guy continue? Like, what the fuck is wrong with boxing?
I mean, they knew that Dogboe has power, so I guess they were always, they always had that hope that he would land something. But yeah, of course, he wasn't going to land shit. He couldn't even see, I think.
His father should have stopped
he
it.
couldn't even hurt the guy. Go ahead.
I think he got his nose broke very early on in that fight, and it was downhill from there.
Yeah, it's just hard, my dude. It's hard to fight with a broken nose. It's just a hard shit to do, man.
Yeah, you can breathe properly, and then it was early.
Yeah.
You get stuck in your throat, like in your nose.
Whenever you're in a fight and you get like an injury that you can feel it right there, right at that moment, it's hard. The worst ones is the ones that you're not even. You're just fighting off of pure adrenaline. You got dazed and you came out of the daze, and so you're just running on pure adrenaline. Those are the worst long-term injuries. But the ones that you got a broken eye socket or a nose or your fucking jaw is rearranged. Those are the hard ones to fight through.
absolutely, yeah. It's a pain in the ass, especially when you're feeling because fighters have higher thresholds for pain. But it's still fucking annoying if you're fighting with a broken nose, a broken eye socket. And the thing is this, you brought up Felix Trinidad against Vargas, and it reminds me also when Felix Trinidad was getting beat up by Hopkins, his father pulled him out of the fight at the end. I mean, yeah, it was the last round, but at least he pulled him out. This guy, Dogboe's father, it's true, he was just... But like Bucho said, they were banking on the power because Dogboe did come back in the middle rounds. And he was putting up a
Was that a knockdown? Was that a knockdown when he hit him on when he dropped the Mexican guy for?
No,
yeah.
Back of the head.
No, it wasn't
like
in the back of the head.
A bit like Wilder's shot against Fury.
I don't know. All right.
Back of the head.
I disagree.
I don't think the guy could have knocked him out either. He was just too big. Like, he couldn't hurt him at all.
No way. That Mexican was on the mission, man. He wanted to knock him the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like it was over, man. I'm sorry. That's what I saw.
Yeah.
That shit was over in the 12th round.
When you see the damage a broken nose can do, though, I mean, you've only got to look at the Kell Brook, Carson Jones. Kell won. Kell Brook was dominating that fight. Carson Jones broke his nose, and the fight turned just like that.
And by the way, the Fight Scout let's read a couple of comments. We haven't done that yet. The Fight Scout says that Dogboe was fighting very dirty. He says the first 3 rounds were all low blows from Dogboe. Nino Gaggi says Teofimo Lopez is going to be a problem. I'm telling you all right now. Oh yeah, I only saw the highlights. I didn't see everything else.
He needs experience, bro. I'm hearing
That's
a
all
lot
you
of
need
people.
to see, man. Sorry.
Yeah. No, he's right. I mean, it was 30-second knockout, bro. It was just boom, knocked him out. The kid is good. He's explosive. We need to see this kid in some experienced fights with experienced fighters because I could see Fernando Vargas all over again. He's got that attitude. I've heard people say, man, he's going to be a problem for Lomachenko years from now, maybe. A couple of years down. Right now, no, you're ending the kid's career.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's going to happen when those punches are not working against a fucking master boxer, and then he's punching your face in, and then he takes you past the 4th round into the 5th round, you still haven't landed one of your great shots. What's he going to do?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. He's not going to do anything. He's going to break apart, and it's going to be the ending of his career. I heard people talking crazy. I like the kid. I see a lot of potentials in him, but don't get crazy. He'll get fucking mollywopped by
mollywopped.
Yeah,
what the fuck is
mollywopped?
There was no technique there.
It's an old school term for
ass whooping. Yeah.
He would get fucked up
Yeah,
easy.
He didn't really do anything. He was just faster, stronger, and he got to the spot first. That's all it was. It's not like he set that shit up. He was just fighting a guy he was fighting a bum.
I'm glad you said it. Fucking bum. That's who was fighting.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey, Gonzalo Anaya in the chat room says he did a backflip. That was impressive, the fucking backflip. Listen,
he does this running. What he does is this running up the wall. Okay, so you run towards the wall. You it's like you're walking up, and then you do a backflip. Some people could do that, with the wall and do a backflip. But it's another thing to do that. You're mimicking the air as you're walking up the wall, and then you do a backflip. That's pretty impressive.
It's fucking easy to do, man. It's fucking easy to do.
I take that back.
No, you know what?
Loma.
You guys are impressed by that. You guys are impressed by that, but guess what?
Loma can do handstands on his fists.
You guys are impressed by that, but guess what? You know what's more impressive for me? Taking care of your family. Being a father. That's what's more impressive to me. That's what I do. Every day. All right?
I take care of my kids.
I take care of my kids.
My children.
Yeah, BDA takes...
You take care of your kids. I mean, you brought them into this earth. Right?
It's a pat on the back.
Feed family buy us for porn.
Oh, wait a minute. Come on. All
I
right,
take care of my kids. You know what I'm saying? How many people you know?
Exactly. I'm taking care of my kids. All right, and you don't say my kids. You say the way you spell my is M-A-H. My kids. I wanted to talk about something that Bucho posted. Bucho posted on the Hangouts. He talked about somebody wrote an article for a local Canadian newspaper about how we need to outlaw boxing based on what happened after the Stevenson fight. And let me tell you something. Every time somebody gets severely injured, there's always one or two saps who come out writing about, it's a barbaric sport. Let me tell you something, Pumpkin.
Oh my God.
Let me tell you something, you fucking two pieces of shit. It ain't gonna go away. Not anytime soon, anyway. It might, maybe one day, if there's enough corruption, enough deaths in a row, maybe. But it's a sport that's been around for 100 years, maybe even more if you want to really go back to the fucking Greeks or whatever. It's not going to go away anytime soon, all right? This fucking... I mean, I understand it's a brutal sport. Yeah, let's not get it twisted. But how many... Are we also going to overlook the benefits of boxing? You know, how many kids it's taken off the streets?
We live in this cupcake world, man. And then, no offense, Bucho and BDA. You guys live in Canada. You guys live in the ultimate cupcake world. I mean, I don't mean to be disrespectful. In fact, I'm not being disrespectful.
You're getting a little bit of line. You're getting a bit.
No, I'm not being disrespectful.
A little bit.
Everywhere we go, there's a bunch of cupcakes, and they want to look. Do I want my sons to be boxers? Probably not. But I'm not going to stop anybody else that's what they want to do. If they want to be boxers, they have a certain thrill for fighting. There's nothing wrong with that. If they want to get paid good money, what would you rather them do? Fight in a ring where there's rules and they can make some money, or getting fucking beating up some guy in the streets and the guy comes back and shoots him for free?
Well said.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Half these lefties that write these articles have never been in a fight in their lives. Not an alpha male bone in their bodies. So they're just trying to take the alpha male sports away from us and then replace them with these fucking feminist garbage. Do you know what I mean? It's true, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
The amount of female soccer, football. I hate saying soccer.
Oh, that's so crap. It's boring. It's long.
Every time I go on BBC, women's football, Arsenal's ladies against Man City. I don't give a fuck because there's no one there anyway. You turn it on and there's like two people there, the groundsman and the fucking some guy and his dog. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's prime time on TV. Keep pushing this box. Yeah, any alpha male sort of sport. Do you know what I mean? They try and ban it. Like rugby. They're trying to ban rugby as well.
I got into an argument with this feminist.
Yeah, they are. I heard that.
I got into an argument with this feminist about sports. Then we got into this war story, and I was like, she said, so you're telling me you wouldn't want to go to war with a woman who's capable of, killing people, this and that. I said, sweetheart, what happens if me and you got stuck in a foxhole, and there's like fucking water up to my chest, up to your chest? What are we gonna do? She goes, what do you mean? I said, you get your period, don't you?
Oh.
End of conversation. The conversation was over. Why would I want to be with you? And if you're a woman, you have woman shit.
Women weren't designed to do stuff.
Weren't designed to do this. Just like I'm not designed.
That's why I have a womb.
I don't care what Deontay Wilder says. We're not designed to get hurt. Okay, so you are not designed to take there's certain things you cannot do.
All right, compromise. Let's outlaw women's boxing.
There you go. That's a fantastic idea.
I agree.
Totally with that.
Fantastic idea.
I don't give a fuck about no transsexual Clarissa Shields. I don't care about her. Like I don't care about this.
To be honest, listen, I don't care if they fight. But you're gonna force me to like it. I want to have the ability to say, or the right to say that I'm not interested in it. Now you can't even say that. You're like, why don't you like it?
Yeah,
well, what's wrong with you? It's like fuck, man.
Yeah, don't force me to pay for it because I'm paying for that shit.
Exactly. And
we're gonna be seeing more of it though, guys, in the undercards. So get used to it.
Yeah.
But listen, going back
to transsexual boxing is now.
Yeah, transsexual UFC fighters.
I mean, I think it actually made me sick to my stomach the way Dana White and the UFC promoted Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, that was.
It was. It made me sick to my stomach. She was on the front cover of the game and also. I mean, everywhere you went, Rousey's fucking grid was looking at you. Do you know what I mean?
It was smart by them, if you think about it, Stu, because everyone was fantasized by them.
Yeah, it is. And let's be real, but if you actually look at the facts, Ronda Rousey fought in a garbage division with garbage opponents. I mean, her fucking best win was probably fucking Misha Tate.
Even her, she couldn't punch for shit. But then again, that's what you get when you get women fighting, because you get one woman that's really good, and the rest, there's not a lot of competition. So it happened with Layla Ali, remember?
Rousey got this is what I'm saying about pushing this woman agenda. Rousey got the attention and the money that she had no right getting. She had no right getting all the promotion she did and all the look at the money she was earning. One of the highest paid in the sport, for fuck's sake.
She was earning money because she was a female. That's it. Like she
basically because it suited the left.
And because she was pretty, like people perceived her as pretty, so she got a lot of male attention.
Butcher, you want to take care of that one about Rousey being pretty?
Yeah, she's
I
not
never
pretty,
said she was. I never
You just said
there's like one picture from a weird angle where she looks okay, but
I said people.
Oh, okay, yeah, I got you.
You start questioning your sexuality. If you're into these women that are strong and everything, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, that's nasty, man.
You probably like trannies,
Yeah, I don't like women with six packs and like ripped muscles and stuff like that. That's stupid.
It's just out of curiosity, Bucho, which angle?
No, because I'll explain that she's dehydrated, so she's gonna go for the weigh-in, and her face has a more feminine definition.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't
Besides,
body-wise never. I mean, she's like that.
Right.
Besides, I can answer that. I can answer that.
She's not ugly in the face. I'm not
Go
gonna
ahead,
say she's ugly
apology.
in the face.
Yeah,
Sorry,
from behind. You can't see
I
her
was thinking,
face.
I was thinking ass up, face down. Yeah.
Doodoo, let me see. I just want to see her doodoo brown. That's it.
Gonzalo in the chat makes a good comment. He says that Ronda Rousey was on the front page. What is that noise?
Jimmy, mute your mic.
Yeah, Jimmy.
It's a bit crack. Gonzalo in the chat said that Ronda Rousey was on the front of the Ring magazine, and how? I mean, the woman can't box for toffee. She's not a boxer for a start yet. This female fighter gets on the front of the Ring magazine. If that's not left-wing propaganda pushing its agenda onto us, I don't know what
Absolutely.
it is.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. When they were saying that that she would give Floyd Mayweather a tough fight, Mayweather had already prior competition against women before. He'd beaten up women before. Rousey had never beaten up a man. So how the fuck how did that work?
He's like 5-0 with 5 knockouts against women.
Yeah. Officially, yeah, and that's officially.
Yeah.
We're not talking.
That's officially. We don't know about the others.
That's exactly.
When he was younger, I'm sorry, Stewie. When he was younger, he beat 2 of them up in a club at the same time.
No kidding. No kidding.
That's right. That's the baddest. That boy was bad. He was great.
Hey, you knocked out a woman too, right?
Yeah, I did.
I had to bring that one up. I had to bring that up.
Yeah.
Was that apology?
The thing is, though, Floyd would have actually took that fight with Rousey if the numbers were right. He would have.
He would have.
Yeah, he'd have took that
and
fight.
I'm telling you, he would have beat the shit out of her.
Yeah,
of course he would.
All right. By the way, we got Jimmy on the line. It's been a while since I've talked to him, so let's introduce him.
I had a bad trip at a wedding in Maine, and it was a stormy night, right? I'm on LSD. Oh, I was fucking freaking out. It was horrible. I'll never take it again.
All right.
What's up, guys?
Jimmy, good to talk to you again, man. It's been a while.
How you been, brother?
Good.
How's everybody? Everybody good?
Fantastic. Now listen,
that's good, brother.
I'm curious to get your thoughts on the Lomachenko fight and all that stuff, but just real quick, because you know what happened with Stevenson, right? That he got some brain damage. The doctors still don't know if he's going to have some long-term damage, whatever. So there's this article that came out here in the Canadian media, and there's no author, by the way. It's an editorial by a bunch of writers. So they're saying, I think it's time to ban boxing because it's barbaric. What do you think about that age-old question that comes out every time a fighter gets seriously hurt?
I've seen this. It's the moral outrage. It happens every 5 or 6 years. But I'll tell you now, if this would have happened 5 years ago, I would have said, yeah, whatever. But nothing would surprise me now. The way things are becoming, the way things are becoming, especially in Montreal, you get the right group of fucking feminists in the room with Trudeau, it's done. He'll do it. If he fills the room and he feels that more Canadians would be happy. Listen, he's a spineless fucking guppy, and he just blow with the wind. I'm just telling you, in Canada, it wouldn't surprise me at all with the way the social justice warriors are up there. But it would take a long time because there's no one governing body that have to hit it off state by state. So, but there's too much money, and so I wouldn't worry about it. But I'm saying, but like a city like Montreal, I'd be nervous. That's all I'm saying.
Well, listen, I think you're right, but you didn't have to throw Trudeau under the bus the way you did. I think you got a little out of hand there. A little bit out of hand.
Sorry, man. I'll write him a letter.
There you go. All right. So we also have 13 rounds of boxing in the chat. I mean, in the Hangout. Is this the first time you're here, or have you ever been here before?
No, I was here before.
Okay, cool. Yeah, okay. Because I wasn't here when you were here. So finally, we were able to get you through.
Thank God. Yeah.
All right. So what do you, Bucho or anybody else, you got any suggestions? Should we go back to Lomachenko, get the new people in here, Jimmy and 13 rounds, their opinion? Or
Well, yeah, sure. Can I tell you what I think about? I'll tell you right now, if that was the same Pedraza who fought Lomachenko, showed up that night for Tank, he would have fucking beat Tank without a doubt. Listen, that night he fought Tank, I remember as I was watching it before he got knocked out, I'm like, look at how lackadaisical he is about everything. Pulling his hand back. He was making himself small. He didn't use his jab. He played into Tank's
Jimmy,
hands. Yes.
do you think the fight was fixed? 'Cause I have a feeling.
Here we go.
What's last night's fight?
No, the Pedraza Tank Davis fight.
Apology,
I
man.
feel like
You need to apology. You need to stop watching Alex Jones, man.
Yeah, right. Come on.
Look at the way he's
I think it
performed,
was.
Thank you,
I can tell you this. I know who changed. Listen, he changed trainers, and since that night, he's fought really well. And he didn't look right that night. Writers wrote about it, and he said right after too. He had a lot of shit going on in his personal life, right? He had some shit going on with his girl, I guess a baby. So he had all kinds of shit going on. His trainer wasn't giving a fuck anymore. He didn't go in there in shape. He thought he was going to go out there and just bang him out. He was believing all his own hype. It was just a crescendo of shit, all hit at the same time. So I'm just saying, if that was the same Pedraza, that focused to work on his jab, that, you know what I mean, to work behind his fucking use his length the way he did, fought Tank, he would have pitched a shutout. Because he was winning that fight, most of the fight until Tank caught him, I thought.
Yeah, I agree, man. He showed up, like we've all said at the beginning of the show, this was a very determined Pedraza. And that's not to take away from what Tank Davis did. He did what he had to. But let's face it, Pedraza did not fight Davis the same way he fought Lomachenko.
Absolutely not. Completely different. Every part of his aspect of that was different. His conditioning was different. The way he was breathing, the way he moved his feet, he's protecting his chin. And it was funny, too, because both the shots that dropped him were body shots. Even the first one, when he dropped down, that was a body shot. That was that last quick right. And the way he jabs, the way he always finishes combos to the body. I'll tell you, and then he dances people around. I know people are saying that, like, he was out of the ring for a year. He's coming off a shoulder surgery, his first surgery in his career. That plays a thing, in your mind. You're coming back like you're nervous about it. But at the end of the day, I mean, he was in there against a determined, skilled, bigger fighter, all right, with the fucking good jab. And it took him a while, but he figured it out. And I'm telling you, he just impressed me. It's like he's got to that point now. He's so good. If he doesn't dismantle people like you know what I mean? Like he's fighting me, it's an off night. You start going on Twitter, and it's like people are, Tank Davis, listen, Tank Davis is an exciting fighter. He comes to fight, and he's got power, all right? But other than that, he's a thug. He's a street fighter. And he's got quick, explosive hands. He is. He's just a street kid with decent hand speed, but he doesn't have great head movement. He doesn't dot in and out. He's there to be hit. He just hasn't hit up against anybody. I'm telling you, if Pedraza last night, that first, when he fought Tank, he would have beat Tank. And other than Pedraza, who has he really fought? Nobody with power. Nobody can crack.
Well, he's fighting big as after Morris.
BDA Bucho, did you see that comment?
No, we don't care. Apology, we don't care. Listen, I mean, come on. Fucking, listen, when we get psychos, we ignore the psychos in this fucking chat room, all right?
I want to know what the hell was happening. What comment?
The guy that likes to attack homeless people was in the. He's got a hard on. Yeah. He's got a hard on for Jimmy, man. Let me tell you, this guy is insane.
Oh, and so the fucking dude who was chasing out the homeless people, breathing heavy because he was so scared as he was doing it. Is he writing comments? The little touch fucking screen tough guy.
Yeah,
kid, I pissed on you. All right, so gentlemen, listen. But also Fury beat that ass. I haven't talked to any of you guys since that night. Fury won. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. I just wanted to let that be known. My theory on that. Fury won that fight.
Yeah, man, come on. I mean,
he put on a clinic.
Jimmy, what about the long count?
The long count? Listen, the refs turn. Remember, all right, so most of the refs in their 60s, they're not like fucking young guys. They're in their late 50s. They got to turn. They got to find the guy because somebody's already counting. It's not the ref. It's the dude on the side. They got to catch up, and they're supposed to time their count because the minute you go down, right, there's somebody on the side supposed to put his hand up 1, 2, and he starts to count, okay? And you're supposed to catch up with him and make the count. Listen, there's no long count. I mean, that was ridiculous. You want to see a long count? Go back and look with Ortiz and Wilder.
Yeah, that's what
That was a
everybody was
fucking
saying.
long count. When Wilder was fucking hurt,
Exactly.
Yeah,
that was a fucking
and
long
then
count.
just bringing the doctor right after the round starts. I mean, come on.
Oh, it was ridiculous. Yeah, there was like a 14-second long count. It's the thing is, they shouldn't be surprised. People, going up in arms about the Wilder bullshit. It is what it is. This kid is not a boxer. He has no balance. He fights completely off emotion. And if he doesn't knock you out, and Fury knew it. Fury said it. Listen, he goes, "There's no fucking scheme. I'm gonna outbox him. If he hits me, he's gonna knock me out. He can crack, but I'm gonna make sure he doesn't." And the fucking kid, I'll tell you, Fury, I'll tell you, I doubted him. I've always, and my hat's off to that kid. I'll tell you, he's one of those dudes who just has to have people doubt him. He's one of those guys who thrives off that. And he's one of those guys, when everything goes good, everything falls apart for him because he has no, you know what I mean? He doesn't have that doubt, I guess.
13 rounds. You want to say something about that?
Yeah, about the Loma and Pedraza fight.
Okay, well, let's go back to that.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Loma, he did well, but I thought he was rusty a little bit. But I mean, with that style, Pedraza is long. He's got the reach. He just kept throwing punches, even though he was missing. He just kept throwing punches, and that's very difficult, for a guy like Loma who has short arms and coming in like that and still outlanding Pedraza in every round. That was pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just tired of Tank Davis. I'm just tired of him because he talks so much shit but can't back it up. I just want him to grow a pair of nuts and fight Lomachenko next. I mean, I really do. I'm tired of his shit. I'm just tired of it.
Well, what do you think about the panel's opinion that Tank Davis is a bit of a mental midget and that he's liable to quit against a guy like Lomachenko?
I think he would. I think he would quit because he's never been in that situation. I think he would quit. I really do. I really do. I'm telling you, I think Loma would outclass him and then take him into deep waters and just drown him. I really do. I think he might knock him out, to be honest.
I echo everything 13 just said, for the record. Mm-hmm. I agree with everything 100% he just said.
And by the way, Precise also said earlier that he thinks Lomachenko is actually a harder puncher than Tank Davis. Now, I don't know how we can... I don't know if that's true or not, but I do agree that Lomachenko is a better... Yeah, but like what I'm saying is I think Lomachenko is definitely a bigger puncher than people give him credit for. Most people think he's just a boxer. And Bucho and myself, we were talking about that when we were watching the fight. We were saying, listen, when this guy wants to sit down on a shot, especially body shots, the way he hurt poor Orlando Salido, or the way he knocked out, basically stretched out Rocky Martinez, that's a fucking sensational fucking puncher right there.
When who's the harder puncher is who can hurt who with straighter punches. The wide punches is not a indicator of who hits harder. The one who throws straight down the middle, basic punches, and has the more results, is the one with the most power. That's why I agree with Precise that he does hit harder. Lomachenko is a volume puncher. That's what he is. He's a volume puncher, but when he starts sitting on him, just like Usyk, those guys punch hard, man. They punch. They have great punching technique.
Them straight punches from Lomachenko were rocking Pedraza's head right back. So they were his head was getting rocked back on constant occasions. So they're obviously got some pop behind them. I just like you just said, I'd like him to just plant his feet a little bit more and start doing what he did in the 11th, because these guys wouldn't be around if he started doing that earlier.
Did you notice he seemed a little thicker last night? He seemed a little more muscular last night. If you go back,
like I said, shoulder surgery. I just punch it. Obviously, got a problem with the shoulder still because the hooks weren't really coming into play much. So he's obviously got that movement that he's doing with the hooks. Obviously, he's giving him a bit of jip because he wasn't using the hooks. So when he used to like change the angles, I don't think he was doing that as much as he usually did. It was just, like I said, it was a very good performance. But for Lomachenko's standards, I don't think it was one of his best. And I
don't think he threw that right hook until the 11th round, right? Or to the 10th round.
You know why? You got to understand why he wasn't throwing the right hook. That's because Pedraza took that away from him. Lomachenko is not some kind of guy that's just going to jump in with the lead left hook. No, he's got the shorter arms. He's got to set up his right hook. He's got to set it up with straight punches. He's not going to open himself up wide like that with the lead right hook.
Yeah, but I'm not saying he's got a lead with left hooks and things like that.
No. But that's what I'm saying. Like,
but when I'm a teammate saying,
this is what I'm talking about. Lomachenko has to lead everything with straight punches because he's got the shorter arms and he's got to step to
Yeah.
you and get to you. So he's going to lead with the straight punch. And if he hits you with, as soon as he would hit Pedraza with the jab with the left hand, Pedraza wasn't there for the hook. He was playing, he was very defensively responsible. And Loma, because he's not going to lead with the right hook, he's not going to hit him with the right hook because he has to set it up with the jab or the left hand. And by the time he landed one or two punches, Pedraza wasn't there for the hook. So, he took it away from him. And credit to Pedraza. That's all I'm saying.
Precisely.
But I mean, the surgery probably had something to do with that also. The surgery, no doubt.
That's probably what made. But the facts are, he still, when he did throw that, he was landing and hurting him. So
what do you guys think if that? What's your opinion if that Pedraza fought Tank? What do you think the outcome would be?
He gives him a much harder fight.
Okay, we've already said that. We've already said that.
I wasn't on that. I was just curious.
We think Pedraza would probably win the fight on that performance because let's be real, Tank's out of shape. Tank's walking around at 155 pounds by the looks of him.
Hardy and heavy too. Hardy and real heavy.
He's not disciplined enough.
He's always drunk. He's always drunk in the backstage.
You know what's funny is that these Lomachenko haters, because they're not really Tank Davis fans. They're not really fans of him. They just hope that Tank Davis would beat him. The guy's not disciplined. How is this drunk gonna beat an elite athlete, a guy who's serious about his business, a guy that when you want to breathe, he's on you. Okay, so when you start getting too aggressive, he switches the tempo, and then when he sees you getting tired, he goes back into beast mode. This kid will never. I guarantee you, if that's the next fight. Right, I can't predict 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line. If that was the next fight, which that would never happen, not because of Lomachenko, because of Tank and because of Floyd. If that fight was to happen, he'll kill him. He'll wipe this boy out. Tank will quit the fight. He will quit. 100%.
The one thing that worries me about Loma is he tends to mark easy, but he gets hit. So he doesn't get hit as much. So I'm not really worried, but. When he goes up to the bigger weight classes, that's going to be, maybe maybe.
The way to beat Lomachenko right now, the way to beat him is what Linares did. Catch him off guard, make sure he stays down. That's the best way to beat him. Make sure, or if he gets back up, he's hurt. Keep him hurt. Just keep that man hurt. Don't let him get back into a rhythm. Sort of like Vernon Forrest. Shane Mosley, the first.
I don't think anybody can do that at 135.
No, I'm just saying.
I understand. Yeah.
Either, but I'm saying if there's gonna ever be a way, you're not gonna outbox this kid. You're not gonna outpunch him. It's not gonna happen.
The best way to beat.
He has to get careless for you to win the fight.
Best way to beat him is you got to is he married yet? Does anybody know? Is he married with kids?
Yeah, I believe he is.
I think he has.
Okay, so all right, good. So is he got a Russian, a Ukrainian wife, not an American wife, right?
Canadian wife.
No, well, I know. Honestly, I'll tell you what the difference is. No, I'll tell you what the difference is. The reason being because listen, the father is very, very strict with him. Listen, a lot of the drive with that kid is the fear of his father. He respects the hell out of his father. I'm saying if he came here and his father was very effy where he was going to train. His father still won't speak to the reporters. He's very private, but he didn't want the Americanized bullshit to soften his son. The few times he's given interviews, he's talked about that, certain influences in his life. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference. If you got a Ukrainian girl who knows the culture, and you know what I'm saying, if he got here and he married some Budweiser model who's like, fuck your father. You know what I'm saying? There's a big difference. From a girl.
He's not
from a girl. Exactly. He's not spending money.
I care about you.
There's a difference from a girl who's from Ukraine, who respects his family, respects the father, knows. You know what I'm saying? This is a big, and that's what I meant. There was no other. I mean, nothing else by it.
Yeah, the Western.
He's more likely married to like a high school sweetheart.
Exactly. Someone who's known the father, so doesn't try to stay between him.
The father.
Exactly, because that's the most important relationship with that kid.
Not in it for the money only.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, there's a comment in the chat. I mean, this clown Flo Billy, I think his name was something like that. He's claiming Lomachenko got exposed like Wilder. He's actually claiming he's putting Lomachenko's performance up there with Wilder's. I mean,
listen.
This
Obviously,
is the fucking brain cells we are dealing with.
All right, a bunch of people.
Very limited.
A bunch of people dropped off. Listen, Stu, fuck those people, the crazy lunatics. I want to say something.
I just can't handle comments like that, bro.
I know.
They're fanboys.
It's just, I just don't believe that. It's hard for me to accept there's people in the world this stupid, but there's loads of them.
Don't worry about it.
My thing is this: if you're gonna do comments, right, if you're gonna make a comment like that, you gotta call into the panel. If you're willing to make such a call in, right, and back that up, because that's some bullshit right there.
Oh, I wish they would. I wish they would.
Call in and defend yourself.
Yeah.
Stop being a coward.
If you guys allow Lomachenko real quick, have you guys noticed that he gets hit a lot with that right uppercut? Like I've mentioned it before, but I've rewatched his fight so many times that the right uppercut, he gets hit with it a lot. Mm-hmm. So that could be the shot that if people land that and then follow it up with a left hook, that could be the shot that like gets helps them win the fight.
That's a good point. But so far, Linares tried it a little bit. It's not easy. He dips down. I get what you're saying. Apology. He dips down a little bit and with his chin tucked down, but easier said than done, man. Easier said than done, especially since he uses his feet so well.
Of course, but he seems to get hit with it the most out of any punch I've seen, especially against bigger guys with long reach. Right. He comes in and he dips down. Like you throw it to the body, he gets hit with it the most.
You know, Loma Davis is similar to Fury against Wilder in the sense that, obviously Fury and in this case Lomachenko are the better boxers, but what if Davis lands, like it's kind of the same scenario.
Right. Yeah, it's a good point. I just wanted to go back to what Jimmy said about Lomachenko's wife. We've seen two examples, mostly with his Asian American, whatever you want to call it, wife, Yoko. She ruined the guy, took his belts away. Might as well have cut off his balls. That was disgraceful. And I think she might have had something to do with this strife between Shane Mosley and his father. I know Nonito Donaire's wife, I think she had something to do as well. That's what I see. All these wives that marry these boxers, and then all of a sudden they become managers. And
more professional athletes' careers have been shot into the toilet because of their wives. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah,
that happens a lot.
Mike Tyson will tell you that.
Oh yeah.
And then you're dealing with a lot of guys. I mean, outside of the Ukrainians and these Usyk and I believe isn't Lomachenko. Don't they both have degrees? I know Usyk has I know he has a bachelor's. I don't even know. He might even have his master's. He's a very intelligent dude. But I think Lomachenko went to college too. So it's different. I mean, you're picking from a different gene pool from the States.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's a whole other thing. Listen, Samson and Delilah. The Bible teaches us a lot about how to keep women at a certain distance from a business standpoint. All right. Now, this isn't Christian BDA speaking. This is common sense BDA speaking. All right. What's that?
Oh, I was going to say, BDA, my grandfather's a trainer, Hall of Fame, right? So this dude knew his shit. And he told me when I was a little kid, the old wise tale, you don't bust a nut a week before a fight. You know why the old timers started that? Back in the day, back in the 1900s, actually, when this whole shit started, it wasn't because you can recoup after 6 hours after nutting. That wasn't it. They would tell them that to keep them away from their wives. It wasn't just getting laid. It was to keep them the fuck away from their ladies.
Interesting.
No, that's why the whole thing started. No distraction with the women.
Yeah, no distractions.
But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is God. Corinthians 11:3. Now listen, I also wanted to. I also wanted to get.
I do. Amen. It's finally coming around.
Yeah. Oh no! I'm not gonna go micked out like you for 2 weeks, and then once I hit college or whatever, hit the streets, I turn my back on it. No. It's not gonna work. All right. I wanted to get because people in the chat room wanted to ask us some questions. First of all, Mateus Lisa, half an hour ago, I think he wanted us to ask Jimmy about clenbuterol, but he didn't really specify what. So we'll get to that question if he specifies it. Also, somebody wanted to ask. Somebody wanted us to talk about Jim Lampley crying last night. I didn't see.
He did that low place kind of thing.
I didn't. Did you see it? Who saw it? Because I didn't see it. I couldn't catch it last night.
Yeah, I saw that crying.
My goodness gracious! I mean, what? Anybody else see it? What happened? Can anybody fill us in?
I didn't watch the card.
Well, it wasn't much. I mean, he's just kind of like to start crying.
All right, so nothing big happened then, because I just thought
okay. We've seen it before. You know, after what was it? After Marcus knocked out Pacquiao, was it then?
Uh-huh.
Can I tell you the one thing I heard through the grapevine about Jim Lampley? He can't stand Peter Nelson. Not that that means anything, but I guess he fucking can't stand him. They can't stand each other. Nelson was in the truck the whole night. Hid out in the truck the whole night.
Really?
You know, they have the cable trucks. They show up on site. You know what I mean? When they film, you know, they have the big 18 wheels, and they have the van. It's the producers. They stay out in the truck, and he was in the truck all night.
Lampley was in the truck? Sorry.
Peter Nelson.
Peter Nelson. Okay.
I caught the HBO card.
Oh, we got reverse.
Half of it.
Hold on a second. We got reverse Lee. You know what that means.
Reverse Lee.
That people say that's where you go if you want your career to blow up.
California, man. That's
the land of the pedophiles.
Was that? Was Butcher? Will you say something, or was that in the intro? All right.
I wasn't saying anything.
All right, reverse. Sorry. Thank you for being on, reverse. Keep going.
So Roy Jones, he gave a little story about how HBO was so good to his career and how he began and ended his career on HBO, and he cried. He cried substantially.
He cried substantially.
Yes, he cried, and then Max Kellerman, with his very terrible sore throat because he was sick, he gave his little sentimental speech as well, and he cried. And then Jim Lampley, you know, he talked more than anybody else, and then it kind of looked like he was kind of forcing himself to cry at the end. But Roy Jones, you could tell he was crying for real.
Really? I gotta catch that. There's nothing more entertaining than seeing people cry. I don't know why.
I can't see Jim Lampley crying, man. I mean, I can't see Max Kellerman crying. Excuse me.
Oh, come on. Even when he's, after all the hardships he's gone through, you can't see him crying?
No, mate, even when Butler murdered his son, he didn't cry. You know, that sort of guy.
No, okay, come on, man. How do you know, man? Come on. No, that's cold-hearted, man.
Kellerman didn't even cry when he saw the autopsy photo.
Okay, come on, man. Oh, no.
Don't get fooled when they tell.
Oh, shit, what the fuck? I'm playing intros now.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you.
I'm sorry too. It's okay, no problem.
Okay, so
Yeah, you got a little out of line there, Stu. A little bit.
Sorry.
Okay, so Mateus Lisa says he came up with a question here. He says that clenbuterol and its side effects. That's what he wants to know about. So, Jimmy, could you fill us in on that?
The side effect is when you're using it. What's is a tell. That's why you if you're training, you want to make sure you cover whatever body part because it turns bright red from the niacin. You get heart palpitations. Sometimes you get rapid heart. Depends on how much you're taking. So you should never dose at night before you go to bed because you won't get a good night's sleep. And that's the only time your body heals when you're training hard. Is when you get in that fourth, stage of sleep REM. So it's important.
Does it turn your hair red too?
What's that? That I don't know. Turn your hair
red too?
That I don't know. It's just an excellent fat burn. It just speeds it up. It's like same like GHB used to do the same effects. What GHB was so good because you would sweat when you slept. You take a cap of that, knocks you right in a REM sleep. You'd literally wake up, have to wring your t-shirt out, but you'd sleep 45 minutes, and you swear to God, you felt like you slept for 8 hours. And you'd chew up your clenbuterol and go to the gym. It's best to do it on an empty stomach before you do your cardio.
Hey, Jimmy, quick question.
Yes.
When a man sweats, when he's just sweating, even if he's not taking anything, is that a good sign or a bad sign?
Well,
because I work out, like I sweat when I sleep. I don't know what the fuck.
Well, it's just it's different. Different people. Some people, it's actually done studies. People throw off different body heat when they're sleeping, and because what happens, they find a correlation, I believe, with people with high levels of testosterone tend to sweat more in their sleep.
So that explains me then.
All right, so if you get horny still your age, you still want girl walk by a nice set, you fucking like, woof. Yeah, so that's they found that guys that just the guys, and if you eat a lot of red meat, you'll sweat too.
I thought I was going through.
Bro, I sweat like walking for like 5 minutes.
Hey, that's a good question. First of all, I just got that joke from Precise about that turning the hair red. Second of all, Jimmy, is it a bad sign if you're a fat Mexican and you get out of breath running after homeless people after 5 minutes? I mean, is that a bad sign? Or? I'm just curious,
man. Mike, listen to him. He's having fucking heart palpitations. He's ready to go to water. Dude's 120-pound junkie, like sleeping. And he never even explained what the guy did. What did he offer? Open the door and he just offended his. I don't know. It was disgusting because the only thing I remember I heard is "fuck white America, fuck you, white America." That's what he said twice. So when you rage, your fucking true feelings come out. And he was always on this channel. Everything was pro Mexico, which is fine. I'm a nationalist. He's a nationalist. Go with his people. I respect that. But now it really comes out, fuck white America, and you post that shit, and you're gonna fucking talk shit about me, you little fucking shit stain.
Jizzball. He's a jizzball. True and true.
Fucking clown.
All right.
Yeah, why you have to bring it up for?
All right, listen, come on. I can't bring up people I dislike every once in a while. Come on. By the way, Jimmy, there's some crackling. All right, listen, Jimmy, there's some crackling from your end. I don't know if you're walking or while you're talking, but anyway. Just see if you.
No, I was outside. I was just outside in the wind. Sorry.
Okay. What else did I want to talk about? We talked about Kell Brook, Isaac Dogboe, Lomachenko, Estrada. I didn't see the Estrada fight. I hope I can catch that.
Good fight.
Yeah. Now, reverse. Here's the thing. Here's a question. People were saying that when Estrada fought on the same day as Sorong Visay, and they're saying that they didn't look too hot in that fight. How did Estrada look last night?
He looked pretty good.
Good enough to beat.
He beat the hell out of that guy. The guy, he was hitting him with like 3-4 punch combinations. Now he was getting some backfired, mostly because he was going forward for the majority of the fight, and he did get hit with a couple of good shots that I thought he probably should have avoided. But overall, it was a bigger opponent, and he fared pretty well.
Yeah, Estrada's top class, man. This guy is good. He's got solid stamina, good combinations, good instincts. I'm hoping he's going to go to... somebody's going to pick him up. I wish our networks picks him up because he's really... It was about time, man.
That was some nice matchmaking for Tafilo last night. That kid Bernard, I heard he just woke up 30 minutes ago.
It was a good knockout.
When you fall face first, that's bad.
Dude,
but the kid's lost. Like, hasn't he lost his last 4 fights? Like 3 of his last 4 fights by stoppage?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not only that, he was shaking before he went down.
Yeah, he did.
That's a right. You saw that? He was like,
yeah. Last time I see someone go down like that, it was Apollo Creed, I think.
Yeah, it was definitely. He's definitely got power. That kid. We got to give him that so far. I also wanted to talk about another fight that I want to see, but I can't find anywhere. Alexander Besputin, 11-0. He fought the very tough and awkward Juan Carlos Abreu. All right,
Jimmy, can you mute your button?
Yeah, Jimmy, please mute your mic because we got some crackling there. Yeah, okay, so Alexander Besputin.
Like boxing styles.
What's that?
Sounds like boxing styles is on the line.
Yes.
Boxing styles on the line? No, I don't see him.
I don't see him.
Oh, I think he said it sounds like boxing styles.
Joke.
Yeah, it's a joke. I'm missing all the jokes tonight, man. What the fuck?
BDA, we're lame.
I know, man. I know.
I'm lame.
We're not sharp tonight, man. We're getting old. All right, listen.
Rasputin.
Yeah. Rasputin. No, it's not Rasputin. Besputin. Besputin, 11-0. And anybody catch the Abreu fight?
Rasputin.
I wish he was fighting.
What fight did you say, BDA? Who?
Rasputin. Besputin against Abreu. Against Abreu. The always tough Abreu.
I didn't even know he was fighting.
They fought last night, man. And now Besputin dropped him twice, which is not easy to do. And now people are talking about him being a potential opponent. What's that?
Well, he's Rasputin.
Listen, fuck Rasputin. The point I'm trying to make is he's being talked about as an opponent for Terence Crawford, potential opponent. And that's why I want to see the Abreu fight, because I want to see if he did better than Kavaliauskas did against Abreu.
That's the fight I
Yeah,
want
he
to
did.
see. Kavaliauskas, the kid from Lithuania, I believe or Latvia, one of the two.
I think it's
The Green
Belarus.
Machine.
Lithuanian. I would like to see him fight Terence Crawford.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
Bob Aram's not going to risk that, man.
I think that'd be a good fight.
I think that'd be a good fight.
No,
Apology.
Bob Aram's not going to make that fight.
Oh, hey,
This is the
BDA.
thing. We could be seeing a pound for pound fighter that doesn't even fight a top 5 guy in his division. That's
Yeah,
how.
it's pretty sad.
That's the Crawford situation we're in now. That this guy is top 1. Well, he's top of some people's lists.
Didn't
Yeah,
he
this
just beat
guy
up a handicap guy?
with one leg.
Come on. He was a
That
gimp.
injury was fake. The injury was fake.
Oh, come on. Yeah, everything's a fucking conspiracy right now. All right, Jimmy, you were going to say something?
No, I was just going to say that whoever was asking about the computer roll, I was going to tell him if he was planning on taking it or whoever he knows who's going to take it, don't take it unless you're really right on the cusp of like having good abs. Like you hear about people taking it when they're really chunky. If they're still like, if you're over 10% body fat, it's a waste of time. It's not a good fat burner. It's one of those things that it's good at the end of a cycle to help you through your withdrawals when you're coming off shit. And it's good when you need that little push at the end when you're trying to get that pull the last bit of fat out. But it's not good for an over-the-counter fat burner would work just as good if that's what the kid's using it for. That's all I wanted to say, brother.
All right. Well, there you go. Some useful advice right there. Some wisdom about when to take clenbuterol. So we're talking about Crawford, and like Stu said, this guy, that's the Crawford situation. He's got nobody to dance with other than these undefeated guys from Top Rank who really don't have any big wins themselves. I mean, look, Carlos Abreu is a tough opponent, but he's not a world-class top pound-for-pound guy. So that's why I was asking about if anybody saw the Besputin versus Abreu fight. But apparently nobody caught that. Was it even televised or?
It could have been. I just wasn't aware that the fight was going to take place. So.
All right, so fuck that subject then. That's going nowhere.
There's no other champion, especially a European champion, that could sit in a division and avoid top 5 guys because of promotional reasons. There's no one else that would get away with it.
Right.
If I'll tell you what I would do if I was Crawford, I would use social media. I mean, to my advantage. I'd show up to every one of their fights. I would publicly embarrass them. I'd go up. If you walk anywhere near the announcers, they're going to pull you in. Yes.
That's for people who actually want fights.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want the fight, go there and fucking say it. You start getting the public that you talk to the announcers. Say, yeah, no, I want him. I want you. Let's do this. And you make everybody talk about it. You get everybody saying, Spence, what's up? This kid wants to fight you. You force their hands.
Yeah, I actually think Terence Crawford will fight anyone. I don't believe he's scared to fight anyone. So. But he's with someone that's going to be problems for him to get big fights with these top welterweights. I mean, the guy's talking about Amir Khan next. Now, Khan's a decent name on paper, but all of us on this panel know that is Khan's finished. Crawford should make easy work of Khan, really. Do you know what I mean?
Should fight Brook. Why not Brook?
I'd rather Crawford Brook. That'd be a better fight. I know Brook. I know Brook looked terrible the other night, but Kell Brook's not going to be that bad against Terence Crawford because he can't afford to be.
But he
is
would
there
have to
any
make
chance?
147.
I only saw one round, but is there any chance that Brook was sucking on purpose to bait Khan into fighting him?
That's what Nicola Ferrari asked.
I thought about that. I didn't see the fight.
That has to be one of them. Yeah. That has to be one of the most pathetic moves in boxing, if that's the case. I mean, how desperate does one man have to be to get another man in the ring that he has to nearly get himself knocked out to convince the other guy to take it?
Well, you know what? Let's ask Apology Man. He's the new conspiracy theory guy on the panel. So, Apology, what do you think? Do you think Kell Brook sucked?
Apology Joe.
Yeah, he did.
Well, there you go.
He probably did, man.
Yeah, I've got connections.
Khan is scared shitless of of Brook for this reason. He hates him, right? He hates him, and he would hate to lose to him because he could outbox him more likely, have a good chance of beating him in the early rounds. As soon as those whiskers get grazed, he's going to sleep like he always does.
Oh,
Yeah, I reckon that's to your point. They used to spar when there was amateurs. Like
They
there's
did.
stories of them sparring. Yeah, and
I used to
apparently,
school you, Brooke. I used to school you.
yeah,
the thing
they
is-
say Khan says one thing, Brook says the other thing.
Yeah.
So I don't really know.
See, the thing is, what makes the Brook fight a bit more interesting than Khan? I don't think Khan's got the pop to take Crawford out. Well, I know if Cal Brook lands one clean, then
He could.
Crawford, yeah,
Could hurt
Crawford's no Carl Froch when it comes to the whiskies. He's showed he can be hurt even in his last fight. And he was getting tagged up with a guy that wasn't really a big puncher. If they were big shots, like I don't know, man. I think Cal Brook. I'd pick Crawford to win because Cal Brook on that performance, you can't pick him to win. But I still think he has because he's got that one shot he could land that could take Crawford out. Khan doesn't have that. Khan's going to have to be perfect for 36 minutes. And I just can't, just doesn't have the boxing brain to do that. He's going to make mistakes. He's going to get caught.
I think it would be a very entertaining fight because of the fact that they hate each other. And lately, like you said, Stu, we've been seeing if Khan has defensive holes, we just saw Kell Brook expose a lot of his defensive holes last night as well against a subpar opponent. So it should be an action fight. Somebody's going to get touched up in that fight. So that's why, personally, that's why I want to see that fight. Because it's a grudge match. Both guys still have a little left in the tank, and they're skilled. I think it would be a
the
good
thing
fight.
is, Eddie Hearn's fooling you all. If you think that the Britain's really calling for this fight, the UK is not really calling for this fight. We don't care about it anymore. It's died of death. The steam's gone. I mean, they both look terrible in their last performances. And like I said, what are we gonna get these guys when it's like TOV Chuck Liddell? Do you know what I mean? Are we going to get that sort of is that when we're going to get these guys? Do you know what I mean? And so UK, don't let Eddie Hearn fool you and Kell Brook and everyone else. Oh, everyone keeps asking when we're going to fight. No, they're not. He's making a meal out of it.
Well, listen,
fans here and there.
I lost respect for Eddie Hearn when he got his shorts pulled down and it turns out he goes commando. I mean, that's like, come on, man. What the fuck are you doing? So, Eddie Hearn, get your act up.
Yeah, those guys like,
You know, I was about to be interviewed by Michelle Phelps.
do
Was
you
that-
like go out with no pants or like boxers on sometimes?
You do that?
Yeah.
Oh, no. That's not part of the
good,
MGTOW
man.
program.
It
What's the
was
matter with you?
Y'all nasty.
I like walking around naked as well.
All right. I think he's trolling us again and we missed it.
I like,
I used to,
no,
you know what I
like
used to
walking
do?
around
I used to call like call girls to come to my house and answer the door naked just to see their reaction.
Isn't that sexual assault or something nowadays?
No, I'm paying for it. So.
Okay. All right.
One woman told me you don't have no manners. So I'm sorry.
Hey, listen.
You have no manners. You can piss in my mouth for $10.
Give him the old R. Kelly.
I said, baby,
That's
at least I took a shower. I'm not a smelly motherfucker, right? I mean, whatever you're gonna do is gonna be nice and clean.
The penis is clean.
Nothing better than a little a woman with smelly armpits. Ooh. Let me tell you something. That's
Especially a woman with hairy armpits. Ugh.
yeah, hairy and smelly. The best.
AKA a feminist.
I remember when I pulled some French bird many years ago. I pulled some French bird, fucking nice looking bird she was, and we went swimming. We decided we'd take her swimming. So she goes in and gets changed, comes out of the dressing room, fucking perfect figure, lovely long brown hair, tan skin, and she goes to put her hair up in a fucking knot, and under her armpits was the forest of Ardennes. Fucking hell.
Oh no.
I thought I saw Kevin Costner and Brian Adams under her armpits.
It was Douglas Costa.
Yeah.
Your fucking Robin Hood was in there, man.
You saw a hobbit.
So what
in
did you
there,
do?
Well, I escorted us quickly to the fucking swimming pool before anyone else saw it. You stay there, Glove. I'll go and get you an ice cream. Just stay in the water.
Did you keep her head under the water as well? Did you keep her
Fucking
head
hell.
under the
I mean,
water as well?
there wasn't even it weren't even one of them. Where the feminists do it just to be bitches. They leave a bit of hair there just to put men off. It weren't even that. This was fucking. This was like Arab hair armpit.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean?
Stu, you weren't new age enough. If that was me, I would have just put some duct tape over it, and we would have had something going.
We would have had something.
I would have called it Chewbacca.
Man, you guys have no heart. You guys have no heart, man. I like a woman who can be herself. Let's put it that way, And as long as she lets me do what I gotta do, we got no problem. Now listen, I hate how this fucking podcast always goes into devilish behavior.
BDA, that's typical BDA podcaster. That
No,
makes
it's
us
not.
us.
No, it's not. We're supposed to have some standards here. Listen, speaking of standards, so we saw Dogboe getting exposed. Ah, shit, people fell off. All right, let me. I'll resume
Yeah, they all
the.
fell off except me.
All right, now boxing.
13.
Recognize. I gotta tell you something. You brought up Trinidad Vargas a couple of episodes minutes ago, and I gotta tell you, every December I watch Trinidad versus Vargas, and then I start watching De La Hoya versus Trinidad, and then Trinidad versus David Reed, and I go back to watching all these fights from the 1990s. My question is, when that fight happened, Vargas versus Trinidad knocked him out, knocked him down 5 times, stopped him. Remember how Trinidad was considered invincible back then?
Well, yeah. He was like, look, he'd been dropped several times before Vargas dropped him in that 4th round. But he was like everybody always felt that he was going to win by knockout. And yeah, you're right. He had this invincibleness about him. But I'll tell you right now, I thought Vargas was going to finish him in that 4th round.
Yeah, before the low blows, huh? But
I think Trinidad had a feeling I got to do something now before this dude ends me.
Right.
Well, put it this way: before he hurts me again and drops me, I'm not gonna say definitely take him out, but that's what I saw. Yeah, that's what I remember.
Okay, because here's my question: because people said that, right? People said, "Oh, he hit him with the low blows because he wanted to buy some time." Why didn't he ever do that against Bernard Hopkins, though, when he was getting the shit beat out of him?
What happened with Bernard, I believe, was there was too much frustration on Trinidad's part. Trinidad, I think that Bernard Hopkins got in his head. I'm not taking anything away from Bernard Hopkins. I thought it was a great performance, but he did cheat on certain instances. He did. He fucked with his gloves, his wrappings. There was the whole 9/11 thing. Remember the fight was supposed to happen on the 15th of September, and it happened on the 29th. So there was, I don't think he had time for any of that. If Trinidad's hitting you low, he's in the fight. That means he's in the boxing fight. He wasn't in his rhythm in that fight at all. And to your point, remember how you brought up how his father stopped the fight?
Right.
Father jumped in the ring where Dogboe's father, I believe it is, just kept letting his son get beat up. I think the reason why Trinidad's father stopped the fight was because he started seeing how Trinidad was getting rocked. His legs were giving out. And it started happening in the 10th, like in the 9th or the 10th round. If you go back to that fight, you could see that that Trinidad's legs were giving out. So when he saw his son go down and have a hard time getting back up, he said, "Fuck this, my son is done. I'm stopping the fight."
Yeah, good point. Yeah, because he did wobble in I think it was at the end of the 10th round.
Yeah,
the 11th.
I think it was a couple of times too.
Right.
It was a couple of times before the knockdown.
That was
remember he hits Trinidad and he pushes him down.
Oh, come on! See, that's what I was gonna say because I remember
it's fine with me. He was whipping his ass. I'm telling you, he was whipping his ass, but he did push him down to make it a little harder.
The reason I mentioned that about the push is because after Fury Wilder, we saw all the excuses coming out about it was a long count, blah blah blah. The same shit happened with Trinidad Hopkins. All these Puerto Rican fans who weren't boxing fans, just Puerto Rican fans, they were coming up with all the excuses about why Trinidad lost. 9/11. He had an affair. He got pushed. If he wouldn't have, like, listen, if
He
even
got
if he
his
wasn't
ass beat. That's all it was.
exactly, he got his ass beat. Now, the reason why I bring up Trinidad is because, again, I was rewatching his fights, and I remember after the cream of the peak of Trinidad mania was when he knocked out Willem Joppy, number 2 middleweight in the world, fucking fucks him up in 5
That
rounds.
was nice.
And that's when people were saying, hey, if he goes up to light heavyweight and beats Roy Jones, he's going to surpass Sugar Ray Robinson as the best fighter of all time. 40, what was he would have been, what, 44-0 if that had gone through?
Something like that, yeah. It would have been something like that.
But every fighter ends up hitting a guy they can't beat. And so my question is, because we're talking about Crawford and Spence, right now I see Spence, people are giving him that Trinidad treatment, and he hasn't even accomplished.
No.
Yeah, I know,
I
but
think it's the other way around.
Oh, you think Crawford's getting the Trinidad treatment?
Spence. I think Spence is getting the Trinidad treatment.
Oh, did I say Crawford then? Or because I meant Spence.
Oh, I'm sorry. You might have been wrong. You might have been
Yeah,
right.
I think he said Spence too.
No, I think you did say Spence. Yeah,
Right.
I'm sorry. Maybe I thought I heard. It's my bad. My bad.
Yeah, you got a little out of line.
I apologize.
But all right, so that's my question to you guys. You know, we're talking like with Dogboe, he got upset. Some people were saying that he was going to beat everybody at 122, 118, 126.
Dummies.
Are we still who? What are you people? You guys thought? You tell me, Errol Spence. What do you see? What do you want to see from him? You want to see him get?
I want to see him
You
fight
should
a
move
decent
up.
opponent that's actually his size.
Yes,
and not
me
cheap.
too. I echo what
Middleweight.
Reverse just
Move
said.
to
Yeah.
middleweight.
All right, one at a
Because
time.
there's
One at a time.
actually Artorias Boxing actually put out a video of all the times that Errol Spence actually low blowed Kell Brook.
Huh. I didn't see that. By the way, shout out to Artorias. Shout out to Artorias Boxing, who he's back. By the way, he's making videos again. Go out there and support. Go out there and support him on Patreon so he can keep making those videos. And that he wants to do a Fury versus Wilder punch count video. So go out and support Artorias. All right. So anybody else? Errol Spence, come on.
Yeah. I want him to move up to middleweight, his actual weight.
Huh.
Yeah, I think if he was to fight Crawford right now, I'd put my money on Crawford without a doubt because he's not going to be able to keep getting down to 147. Like it's going to become a real thing at his age and his size. So because of that, I think I personally put my money on Crawford. I think it'd be kind of like an Usyk Garcia fight. I think he'd be just confused. He hasn't fought anybody like that yet.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Crawford's
what about
special. Listen, Crawford's a special talent, in my opinion. But
well, it's interesting you mentioned the Crawford fight because in a way he did fight somebody with skills, which is Kell Brook, his best opponent, and he did get the job done. But obviously Crawford is a whole other package.
But can I say something too? Now, like who is now since Spence fight, right? Since Spence stopped Brook, who did Brook fight since then? Was last night his first fight?
Right, the male stripper and the other guy.
Lomachenko and Zarafa.
Right.
And he didn't look that good against the other dude, did he? Was he?
He stopped the dude like 3 rounds.
Yes, because the kid was in. Yeah. Okay. So, but I don't know. I'm starting to believe what a lot of people said from the beginning that Triple G fight really took a lot out of him. So who's to say? You know what I mean? Who's to say if that was if Brook fought Spence before Triple G, what would have happened? I'm just saying. I'm not putting the same weight on Brook as I did. I guess is what I'm saying. I just don't think Spence has done anything yet. I think Crawford is incredibly talented, and the way he can move, I think that movement would confuse Spence, who can be easily hit, and that's been proven. It's just he hasn't been stepping in there with big kids yet, or guys who can crack, because he's always the bigger guy.
That's true. That's the main advantage. So that's why Apology makes a good point about wanting to see him moving up to middleweight. How about anybody else? Come on, Errol Spence. Where are you at, Errol Spence? Anybody?
I think he should fight at 154. To be honest.
All right, so not 160, but a buffer zone, 154.
Yeah, I think he should fight at super welterweight. Yeah. I
154. It'd be too much of a
160. It might be too big for him. I don't think he can hurt anyone at middleweight. To be honest,
too much of a jump. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
It'd be too much. That'd be a 13-pound jump from 147 to 160. That'd be too much. He'd have to at least do a couple of fights at 154.
I don't think it'll be too much. I think that's his actual size. He just really draining himself.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, for him, it'd be too much. It'd be better off for him to fight at 154. It'd be better if you'd want to see him get banged out if he went to 160.
Right.
You know, it's interesting because Errol Spence, I brought up Felix Trinidad earlier. He carried his power to 160, but then again, it might have been a bit of a mirage because Joppy was fighting with his fucking hands down. Meanwhile, he couldn't take out Winky Wright. He couldn't take out Hopkins. Mayorga wasn't really middleweight. What I'm saying is, Errol Spence. Oh shit! Everybody dropped off. Well, almost everybody. We still got Stu in 13 rounds. So let me just wait for everybody to come back to ask this question. But Errol Spence, my question is going to be whether he has the skills necessary to compete at a higher weight. Because so far, like you guys are saying, the weight advantage and the power. I'm not saying he doesn't have any skills, but what I'm saying is, that power and that size plays a big factor. So, do you guys think he has the skills? Do you guys think he has the skills?
The Garcia family clearly don't, right? Listen, the old man, Mickey Garcia's father and his brother Robert have a big input in Mickey's life. And they all obviously wouldn't have let him take that fight if they thought he couldn't beat him. So they clearly see something in him that they believe Mickey can beat.
Right.
I don't know what they see, but maybe, we'll just have to see because I can't see at all where Mikey could be this fucking much bigger man than him.
They can probably see it in the paycheck.
Money.
Yeah. That sums it up.
The secret is in the contract.
The secret is in the contract.
Is this gonna be?
Don't hit him too
Is
hard.
Mikey Garcia making the same mistake Kell Brook did? Is it exactly the same
It
thing?
could be worse because he's just. Listen, the Brook situation was a little different. It was just a guy that can, a guy that's probably a little bit bigger than him, but not that much, who was just way more powerful. This is a situation where Mikey Garcia just has no real advantage outside of maybe experience.
That's a good point.
Maybe that makes up for everything. This is not like, I've said this before, this is not like a Manny Pacquiao situation where Manny Pacquiao had blazing speed and punching power enough to like keep these big men running away from him, basically. I don't see that from Mikey Garcia, man.
Yeah, that's true. He's got good like again, that's why I mentioned the Golovkin Kell Brook, because Kell Brook has good pinpoint accuracy, and the same thing with Garcia, but I don't see. I can see Kell Brook I can see Errol Spence walking through that. And by the way, Stu, are you saying that I'm asking too many questions, or are you? Was that?
I didn't say you was asking too many questions.
No, I asked Stu. I don't know if Stu's referring to me in the chat.
Nah, everyone's asking me in the chat, oh, have you seen this guy? Have you seen that guy? Like, there's all flooding in. I said, all I'd said was you guys ask more fucking questions than my girls, man.
Yeah, they're doing a report on you or something, man. What's going on here?
No, I just want to address it quickly. Wingy Boxing I haven't spoke to for a while. I've still got no problem with Wingy. I like Wingy, but I just haven't. He's gone his commercial way. I mean, and I've gone my way. I'm not a very commercial sort of guy. My views are not exactly the commercial way, are they? So he's gone his way, and he's doing well for himself. He's at IFL TV, I believe, now, and he's doing well. So I like Wingy, and I wish him all the best. As for Nesta Gibbs, no, I haven't been on that show for a while. I don't intend to go on it. It's a mess. He's an emotional wreck. You can see why him and Wilder get on well together, can't you? Fucking two peas in a pod.
What you mean, yo? You don't know what you're talking about.
Their numbers aren't good.
And that new guy.
Deontay Wilder sold 400K. What's wrong with you?
That new guy. I mean, I thought it was fucking Dogboe from Friday when I first heard him speak.
Fucking terrible. That guy's fucking terrible.
Oh, mate.
Still good videos, by the way. Your recent posts, man, I enjoyed them. I just wanted to tell you that before I get a chance.
Oh, respect to you, Jimmy, brother.
My dude. Wilder is a blockbuster pay-per-view star, bro.
Hey, listen, 400K is pretty good, but it's not
It's
nowhere
not
near
bad.
mainstream, man. I
Hey,
mean,
I tell you what though, talk about making a living off Eddie Hearn's name. He'll find any way. He'll find any way to bring Eddie Hearn into the title. Yeah, Lomachenko, Pedraza, post-fight thoughts.
Fuck Eddie
Eddie will be
Hearn.
at the end of the title.
Fuck
Eddie
Eddie
talks Wilder contract at the end, sort of thing.
But
he's always finding a way to get Eddie in there.
it's kind of saying a lot, though, that we're saying that's 400 isn't bad when if you think about it, it's the heavyweight, American-born heavyweight WBC world champion, and he did he did a little over a third of what a Mexican and a Kazakh did in his own country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's sad,
I mean,
man.
listen, it is what it is. But I thought it was a decent success. I thought it would top out.
Oh, we all say it is. No, I did too.
300K.
Guys.
I thought about 300K.
Guys, are those numbers official? Because I don't believe those numbers.
Well, I mean, apology. I'm with you. Like, I haven't seen anything that's legit. But if it's accurate, if the rumors are accurate, then I'm gonna say they did all right for themselves.
I heard between 3 and 4.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing too.
I smell a conspiracy. Apology? Am I right?
Apology? Apology don't know boxing, son.
Okay, here we go.
I'm telling you.
But what's taking so long? They know that they have those figures in first 24 hours. They know. I mean, this isn't something like, this isn't a Georgia count room. They got it right there in front of them in the first 24 hours.
It takes them a couple of hours to fabricate a number.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, the low IQ Americans.
Oh, now wait a minute. Come on. Low
No
IQ
offense,
Americans?
Jimmy.
What's next? You're gonna badmouth Canadians? I'm not gonna have it. Not in this podcast.
You guys disrespect yourselves already. I don't need to do that.
Oh,
that's kind of true. Yeah, that's a point.
That United States and that Canadian border needs to stay consistent.
It needs to
stay on your side of the border.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Now,
not you, BDA. BDA, you're welcome. You're welcome. But your government, and they're not welcome here.
Yeah, if I tell you what, if I was Donald Trump, I'd build that wall in the northern border.
Oh, here we go.
You can build them on both borders. A prototype is not enough to stop these advanced immigrants.
Now, hold on a second.
I was going to say, did you guys hear the same thing? I read actually a couple of places that fight had to do 250 just to break even. So anything over 250 is where their money was.
Oh, that's good then. That's good.
So anything over 250. So they needed to do 250.
250 to break even. Anything over 250 was the profit margin.
That's with the payouts to everybody, right? The fighters and all that.
Yeah, everything. Yep. Anything over that was money towards Showtime and whoever else was the carrier.
So basically, they did okay for themselves. In other words, if the numbers are legit, right?
Now was Wilder paid on? Did he have a flat fee? Did those guys have a flat fee? I don't know their contract, or was it like a flat fee plus a percentage of the gate?
I read something that said, and I don't know how accurate it was, but it was from like CBS, one of those sports writers, and it said that the pot was supposed to be with everything, with the pay-per-view and what they were guaranteed already and all that. It was supposed to be a $24 million split where Wilder walks away with $14 million, I believe, and Fury 10. Now, how accurate that is, I'm not sure.
Now, you figure one thing, if the claims are true that it had to pull 250, so what you have to do is kind of figure out how many, sales, and then it's pretty easy to say if they were guaranteeing that kind of money before. I mean, so this that seems like an awful lot of money, no?
Yeah,
they would have been figuring they would have needed a lot more than 250,000.
You're saying that's what I was thinking because you just said 250. If it's 250 to break even, right?
Shit. People fell off again. Oh boy. All right, so we'll pick it up when they come back. They're talking about the pay-per-view numbers, whether they broke even, whether they made any profits off of it. All right, recognize. Keep going, please.
No, what I was gonna say until X fucked up the show.
Yo, BDA.
What I was gonna say was
BDA.
if it's 250K, right, to break even, and like I said, I brought up the the pot for both fighters. I don't know how they do that. Does that mean for like everybody on Wilder's side and everybody on Fury's side, or it's just the fighters in particular? I don't know how that goes exactly, but let's say it's 24 million. So what you would have to do is you take the gate, you take the gate at the venue, you take everything into consideration, and then I guess you would take the pay-per-view numbers, times that by what was it, $70, somewhere around that range.
Wasn't it 60?
Okay, $60.
I think. No, I don't.
So
I think.
So anywhere from $60 to $70, right?
Right.
And you times that by 250,000, and that should give you a number where Jimmy was saying that probably just breaks even, pays everybody off. Now to profit, you would obviously have to do more than that. And if they did anywhere from 300 to 400K, then I guess there was a little bit of profit for everybody.
Well, that's good then. It was a success then.
Correct.
Well, there you go. Fantastic. Listen, you always want to see people succeed, and
Of course.
I gotta tell you,
Yeah.
recognize, addition was never my strong suit, but
Addition was never your strong suit.
no, but subtraction.
I said shoes.
That's subtraction. That's where I'm best at, because you know why? I subtracted the devil from my life when I accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, and I think everybody should do the same. Now, listen.
I come to you in the name of Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit.
That's right.
That's right.
And you don't make fun of that.
To say that.
I can't have it.
I just wanted to say that.
You know, I can't do it, Henry. You know, can't do it.
That's right. Most people can't do it.
Me either.
Okay, so listen. Next week we're going to be having some good fights as well. Until the end of the year, we're going to have some fantastic fights. This Friday, Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez takes on Jesse Hart in a rematch. That should be
Why?
interesting. But listen,
Because he's not gonna fight anybody else.
yeah, I'm tired of fucking.
Because you shit.
It's gonna be. Isn't he gonna fight Abraham afterwards again? A rematch,
Yeah. Why not?
Probably Mexo Bum.
or some Bulgarian lorry driver, as Stu likes to say. So we got that little fight there on Friday. Then
Little bit.
the zone on Saturday.
Shout out to all the people who will actually.
Yeah. Shout out to what?
Shout out to.
What the fuck
Shout
was
out
that?
to
Yeah.
all the people who will actually watch that fight.
Hey, listen,
Exactly right.
it's gonna be a bit of an entertaining fight.
You're a real boxing fan if you watch that fight.
It's gonna be an entertaining fight. Come on, Rocky
Yeah, I'll
Fielding.
watch it if I have nothing to do. Why not?
Rocky Fielding versus Canelo Alvarez. The zone.
Yeah, that one too.
Yeah. David Lemieux versus Turano Johnson. Saddam Ali versus Mauricio Herrera. I didn't even know that was gonna happen. Yeah, apparently.
Those fights suck.
They sure do.
That's a bad fight card.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
those suck.
Yeah, the zone needs to step it up, bro. Nah.
Wow.
that's-
That's Friday night fights, man.
Exactly.
Turn to PBC.
It does
That's why
remind
Jim
me.
Lampley was crying. He knows boxing just died.
Yeah. They're turning to
Fuck.
PBC.
Yeah, they dropped the ball on that one with that card, and then they're gonna have Baby Miller fight. They're probably gonna have him fight Larry Holmes next or something. The way this is going, Josh Warrington taking on Carl Frampton on December 22nd. That's gonna be a good fight. I'm looking forward to that one. That same day, the Charlo brothers, Jermall takes on Willie Monroe Jr. Jermell Charlo takes on Tony Harrison. The winner gets an extra eight. What do they call it? Bowl of Coke, an 8-ball, whatever. I fucked that joke.
Yeah, I'm
up.
holding my breath for that one.
Dylan White, Derek Chisora, fucking rematch on the zone, same day.
That I want to see.
Absolutely. And then on December 30th, the annual end of the year card in Japan, Masayuki Ito takes on Evgeny Sharpukov. That's going to be... Ito is a guy to watch. Also, you got in China, Donny Nietes taking on Kazuto Ioka. Come on. If you're not looking forward to that fight, I don't know what fucking
I
fight
just
you're
like the
looking for.
names of these guys. It sounds good. Like,
All
it
right, you know
sounds
what?
like
You're being racist right there, man. All right, you better watch it.
I'm not being disrespectful. I'm not being racist. I'm just saying I like the names. The names.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend you.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's okay. No problem.
Okay, so
All right.
I didn't offend nobody.
And by the way, just because we're all over the place, because not much to talk about. But I've always wanted to ask Jimmy. I ask almost everybody on this panel this question because again, I'm watching a lot of Hopkins Trinidad, and I'm obsessed with what happened back then. Jimmy, where were you when 9/11 happened?
I was in a showroom. I was in a showroom at a Bach Toyota. Ernie Bach. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. He's a big Toyota guy. Owns the biggest Toyota dealership in East Coast. But yeah, I was inside the showroom and watching the TV, and all of a sudden there was a news flash, and I was standing there, and I was just fucking in shock. I just couldn't believe it. It was nuts, man. Everybody was just standing there, nuts. Look.
I honestly thought when I saw that on the news, I honestly thought it was a trailer for a new movie.
Oh shit!
I thought it was a trailer for a new movie. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, and then I realised that this is fucking real.
Well, everybody was arguing. They had everybody come in the showroom, so everybody was over. It had to been a biplane, and I'm like, no way would a little Cessna do that kind of damage. I said it would probably, you would see a mangled frame on the ground. There's nothing. I said whatever penetrated that building had to be cranking. That wasn't an accident. And then all of a sudden, while I'm saying that, boom, the second one hit. Yeah. And that's when it was realized. And right away, I turned around and I said something pretty racist. Because
it's a pity Michael Stott ain't still on this podcast. We could have asked him that question.
Come on, why you gotta?
Come on, man.
Come on.
Come on, Steve. That's not good there.
His answer probably would have been in an aeroplane flying over New York.
God damn.
Wow. I heard the sequel is happening in England.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's already happening with us.
On a small scale, it's happening in England.
Yeah, I can't believe what they're doing to that fucking Brexit. Can I just tell you that, Stu? How the fuck can you people vote to get out and then just stick around and then fucking say, Jimmy, you know what, let's do it again? How did they get away with that?
Jimmy, because of the EU.
That's going to get voted down for a start by the Parliament, and Theresa May will be out of a job. So just it's Tuesday. Wait till Tuesday. She's fish food, and this is. I hate to say it. I don't mean to be a sexist or anything, but give a woman any sort of power. Give her a country to run, and she'll fucking ruin it. She'll run it to the ground and ruin it.
Exactly.
Just like
100%.
Just like Merkel did with Germany. Just like May's done with the UK. Just
Look
like
at Sweden. Look at Sweden, man.
Yeah.
Feminist government.
Women think different.
Women should be in the kitchen.
Listen, women think different. They try to help and heal everything. Men are fucking more nationalistic. Men will fight. Men want to fight. Listen, we're about dick size and fuck you. Women are about, let's help and fix them. You know what I'm saying?
Let's help the migrants out.
All right, listen, I read something the other day was perfect. It said men's aggression can be tricked into war. Women's apathy can be tricked into suppression, into surrender.
Western women resent their men. Western women resent their men. So
because
should not have any Western women running any country.
Definitely not.
No. My girlfriend's got a law. My girlfriend's going for her law degree, and she says women shouldn't vote. So put it that way. That's my woman.
They really should. Just take all of the votes away. Just do not acknowledge.
She said until women. My girl's a wicked constitutionalist. She says until the women are ready, and listen, the reason why men were allowed to vote because they were the ones who fought and died. She said when women are on the front line dying, they have the right to vote.
I was thinking about this the other day. You notice women never actually earned the right to vote. They just had a little temper tantrum over a long period of time, and then eventually we just crumbled down and gave it to them.
I mean, listen, obviously...
That happened in every country. Sorry, go ahead.
No, wait. No, go ahead. Apology, go ahead. That happened in every country, you said?
Yeah, pretty much. It's like women threw a tantrum and then men gave them the voting rights.
I mean, these melting heart females make me sick to my stomach, and this is why I just don't have any respect for them. Because you give them something, they'll ruin it. The more you give them, the more they want. Always complaining about something. They're the most privileged fucking females on the planet, especially fucking white
Why
West.
do you make me? Why do you make so much money? Why do you make me come so much? How come
You
I
work
don't
too
come?
much.
How come you don't make me come? How come you?
It's your fault I
How
cheated.
come you? Why?
When is it all right to spit in a feminist's face?
They're terrorists. Their answer to terrorism is fucking give them asylum and give them free healthcare and free education. I mean, like, that's going to really fucking solve the problem here. Do you know what I mean? I mean, these people. Sorry, I don't mean to be a sexist. I mean, there's a lot of
I do.
fucking. There's a lot
Hey,
of
Stu.
terrible
Hey, Stu.
politicians.
Hey, Stu. Let me tell you. Hey, Stu. When is it all right to spit in a feminist's face?
When you're fucking her.
When her mustache is on fire.
Oh, now wait a minute. Now hold on a second. No. That's it's a.
See, if that were me, I would just throw some gasoline on it.
Let me tell you something, Jimmy. If you ever said that. Now hold on a second. Hold on a second, Jimmy. If you said that joke, Jimmy, if you said that joke in front of me in person, I would give you the big right hand because you don't disrespect women like that. All right, that's just not on this show.
Oh, look at this. Look at this progressive. Look at this progressive BDA.
Recognize. I just said.
But BDA, I wasn't talking about women. I was talking about feminists.
Oh. You're still attacking women now. By the way, real quick, everybody look at the screen. This is a French family who adopted an African migrant.
I saw that picture. The dude looks like he's 37 years old.
Look, they say supposedly he's 16. Now, does that look that's Luis Ortiz?
Well, I'm not seeing it.
It's gonna appear.
Hell no.
Daddy.
Listen. Time out. Can I say something? I gotta say something.
Go ahead.
I have to say something. Okay. Look, I don't care if people like to mix it up and have kids with different race. That's beautiful. That's fine.
Right.
Me myself, I'm part of a multiracial, relationship. I'm a product of a multiracial relationship, right? And that's fine. That's cool.
Right.
But when you make it that obvious, like you're adopting this kid, what are you doing it for? What's the reason?
They're banging him. They adopted the bring him in.
That's what they did in the UK. They did that fucking in the UK, right? They brought all these fucking so-called kids over from they brought one guy. They brought one guy over. They said he was 16. I looked at him. He looked like fucking Gandhi. He looked about 70.
Yeah, they want the like Rebecca said. They want the
One of them was I don't know. He looked like a white Arab, some Syrian or something like that. I mean, they're trying to say he's 16. I mean, he looked like fucking Kirk Douglas the day
he's 16. He looks terrible for a 16-year-old.
Oh, he looks like Luis Ortiz.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
16, I'm 10.
Whoever's idea is that, right? To adopt that kid, that man.
It's the mothers. It's the women's. It has to be the women's.
Mom is always wrong.
Sick woman.
All right, hold on.
I mean, them fuckers are turning up to school and the teachers are saying, "Oh, you're here to pick your grandchildren up." Do you know what I mean?
Hold on a second. Hold on. Hold on a second. I'm fucking dying over here. I gotta read some of the comments from that. from the chat, and then we'll get back to what Stu and Recognize said. Because I showed the picture, and people in the chat room are saying, "Oh, hold on a second, fuck, I backed up too much." Somebody says, Tommy Boxell says that's gotta be photoshopped. The Fight Guy says, "LOL BDA." Pop Tart Gun says that's Guillermo Rigondeaux. Virtuoso says those parents are gonna have grandchildren, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Buccio said it's Balotelli.
Yeah, that's Balotelli. I mean, listen, I gotta put the picture back up again. Look at how. Let's analyze the picture. Let's analyze the picture. Who said that it was the mother's idea? It was apology, I think, or reverse.
No, it was apology. Apology said, and I tend to agree with him.
Look at how
this kid. Come on, look at this man.
Look at the woman.
You think I want this man around my daughter? Get the fuck out of here.
And they don't even know who this guy is. He's got no.
I don't know him.
Does he have a record? Do they have the record from Somalia? He's probably a Somali pirate or something. Fucking holding up Tom Hanks with an AK-47. This guy, you don't know who the fuck he is, and you're letting him in your home.
I'm the captain now.
Hey, what's sick?
I'm the captain now.
Sick from his come from. No, do you know what the answer is? He should have been shot where he came from. He should have took the bullet.
Okay, come on, mate.
If he stayed there for another 2 months, he probably would have been.
What a coward! This guy, listen, no, he flees the country on a fucking dinghy, right? And he managed to get to England. Then he pretends to be like 16 when he's 45, and then he's going to school with his kids. He's going to school. He's sitting there learning his fucking 10 times table and shit at school. You know what I mean?
Hey, Stu, you do not know the way. You do not know the way of the African people. In Africa, 16 looks like 74.
Be an honourable man. Take your bullet, or just sit there and wait for the drone to fucking land on you. Be an honourable man.
Hey, Stu. Did you guys see yesterday? I was going to say, did you guys see that they passed the fucking 171 to 70 got passed yesterday in South Africa? They're going ahead in 2019 with the land appropriation, seizing white farmers' land without paying them. That was voted in yesterday. It's 100%. And then the president went on a ramble saying, "I don't care what Trump says." And the president actually said, and the president said,
Jimmy,
that if anybody complains, they're racists.
Well, listen.
Jimmy.
South Africa is a cultural Marxist shit pit of Africa, and it's a cultural Marxist shit pit of Africa, right? They'll end up like Zimbabwe. I think all the white farmers should leave South Africa, let them grow their own food, and before you know it, they'll be taking.
But the Australians said they can go there. But what sucks though, there's farmers they've been there since the 1600s. They cultivated that land, so it's hard. Yeah. It'd be hard. You know what I mean? Like, imagine if your great grandparents died in that house.
Jimmy, a lot of those lands were.
Listen, like I said, at the end of the day, though, no land.
They didn't take it away from.
No land.
They bought it.
Yeah. No land is worth your life, or your family's life. Right?
No, I know. I agree. Listen, I agree with you, but the fucking people need to step up and help, man. People got to be conscious about it because it's gonna be. I mean,
Jimmy, just if
that's the case, where are the sanctions for South Africa? Where are the sanctions for South Africa? Because everyone else seems to get sanctioned. I tell you what, if it was a fucking Muslim country, they'd soon get sanctioned. Do you know what I mean?
They're openly targeting a race of people because of their skin color to give it to another race of people because of their skin color. It's by definition racism, but the people here in the West aren't talking about it because it's white people.
Well,
hold on. Apology wanted to say something. Yeah. Apology, go ahead.
Good apology.
Yeah, I can't wait until all the white Africans flee. Like Stu said, it's going to turn to Zimbabwe. They're all going to starve.
Where you
taking
a
starve and die out, and good for them.
Yeah, where you're taking a fucking wheelbarrow of money to buy a loaf of bread because the economy is on its ass.
Yeah,
and you think there's any mistake that you don't think it's any mistake the Chinese have aircraft carriers and shit right off the coast? They're the ones buying all the land.
The Chinese will basically own most of Africa now anyway.
No, they're seriously, they're leasing the land. They're gonna turn it over.
Blacks, right? Fuck these man have took over Africa. They will treat you worse than any white man will, mate. The Chinese don't have any love for you guys. They're taking your land and your resources, and when
the Chinese don't give a fuck. They're not cocks like the Western Americans.
Chinese,
look how the
Chinese
in America. I'm sorry, Stu. In America, Black America is crazy. I'm going to tell you why. Because they're like openly calling for, the Spanish to be, and I'm Spanish, to be, or origin of Latino, whatever, right? To be like the majority. First of all, they're surpassing the African Americans in numbers in America. And if they ever come too big, they're not going to be nice to you. They'll break into their house and kill you. They'll kill you and they'll celebrate it on fucking Telemundo.
Did you see that latest study too?
I had to kill that black kid, He fucking coming to he looked at me the wrong way. So I shot him.
Spanish people are the fastest growing new section of our conservatives.
That's
more
right.
and more Hispanics as they hit their 30s and 40s, because they're becoming more and more educated, cultured, and once they start owning property and having bank accounts, you know what I mean? That's happening, and now they're all becoming conservatives.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to give their shit away.
Yeah, exactly. They don't want to give their land to these poor like thugs and gangsters.
Oh,
Listen,
thugs and gangsters.
it's only whites that feel this guilt, and I got to say this. It's also part of brainwashing too. Okay, and I'm not talking about an individual. I'm talking about as a whole. There's guys like Jimmy that they ain't sorry for how the fuck they came out, and they shouldn't be. They had nothing to do with whatever the fuck happened.
But you're 100% right. As a whole, right now, Western society, whites, the intellectual elites and the people who run Hollywood, yes, they run this kick of deprivation. Everything's nasty. They teach the kids the wrong things. Oh, we came here, we slaughtered these indigenous people. We handed them blankets covered in smallpox, which is kind of odd. We used germ warfare before we knew what a germ was. You know what I mean? It's just so ridiculous. It's just what happens. It's you know what I mean. You cut away the fucking history. You cut away their culture. You tear down the monuments. You get them. They hate themselves, and then it's easy to be manipulated.
All right, now let me say something here. Let me say something here, because I gotta be the balance on this show. You guys are saying, well, it's a bunch of thugs and all that, but hey, if you don't let an immigrant in, you're missing out on a potential physician, on a potential physicist, a potential artist, and a new Picasso maybe. That's what Justin Trudeau was saying, and I believe it wholeheartedly. So you guys, you're being
when they Picasso love your daughter.
Well, then I'd say, Mr. Trudeau, let's look at the statistical facts. 68% of all illegal immigrants, migrants, legal or otherwise, in some way are involved in the welfare system.
That
racist. Study just came out.
That's racist, Jimmy. What did you say is racist?
No, I know. In science, look, they're literally targeting science and facts. It's insane.
Jimmy, you should know the hammer in hand, so he's a communist. He's not going to allow them sort of things.
I'm the communist. Okay, you know what?
BDA, do you want them to Picasso all over your daughter? Like,
well, first of all, my daughter, my daughter only goes out with Jewish people, so that's number one. Number two, this is going to be Jimmy's new introduction, because I mean the old one just doesn't fit anymore. This is going to be the new one. Or maybe that should be Stu's. I don't know.
I was dancing when you was playing that fucking song. Come on.
Yeah, that's oh shit! Everybody dropped out. Yeah, that's the song. That's what isn't that the Brexit song, or they took it as the Brexit song from the Kinks, "Living on a Thin Line," which was also used in The Sopranos season 3, in the beginning and in the end.
Listen, X, you fuck with the show one more time, I'm gonna kill you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, what the fuck? People are dropping out.
I'm telling you it is. Dancing. Oh.
All right. So okay, so now here.
Know what I was throwing up.
Here's my thing. Apparently, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but in Toronto there was a hotel. I forget. I think it was a Marriott hotel. What's going on now is that Trudeau opened the door for all these undocumented immigrants, and the hotels are getting money from the government to house these immigrants. So they're letting in mostly immigrants to live there in the hotels, and a couple of customers still go through. And the customer reviews for that particular hotel were horrendous. There was even a woman that said that there were like 3 or 4 men standing outside her door knocking, and apparently they were migrants, but they were pretending to be like the hotel
security.
Yeah, something like that.
I read it. Yeah, it was crazy.
I mean, that's just the stuff. Now, I love Trudeau. I love what he's doing, but that type of stuff with women, that's dangerous.
He's got border patrolmen carrying the luggage for these motherfuckers like Cargiers, or the people at the hotel who carry your bags.
Well, he's got a big heart.
It's embarrassing.
Well, he's got a big heart, so it's let's not criticize him too much.
You got Alberta oilman out of fucking work, begging for work, but he wants to carbon tax him to death. It's just insane.
I'm not
these pedophiles, their days are numbered, mate.
That's true.
They will be hanging off the fucking lamppost like Mussolini and his wife. They will be. Trust me. This is a matter of time.
Yeah.
All
Well,
these
this yellow vest shit could get out of control in Europe. This could be like a fucking second Arab Spring if it goes
Yeah,
right.
you know, that's what happens when you join the EU, man. Like you can't. It just fucks your economy right up.
You know what? What Stu just said.
These treacherous little rats will pay for what they've done to some great nations, and all these leeches that have come here with no respect and think they can do what they want, think they can just abuse women and just abuse our countries. Their days will soon be coming to an end.
See, this is
Stu,
why we
Stu, you
need.
want to hear my theory? That's the reason why they de-armed the British people. If the British people were armed like Americans, I believe this would have already happened in Europe. I believe there would have already been.
The problem is, the thing is, the British people. I mean, apart from a few fucking lefty generals, most of the British army are on the British people's side. So, like I said, it's all well and good these police sending you to jail and all that lot for saying this, but if it really kicked off in a civil war and these police officers were given the opportunity to defend these globalist paedophiles,
I love what's happening in France right now. I love what's happening.
I'm saying. To go with people would turn sides, and the same with the soldiers as well. So it's a bit, obviously we haven't got guns, but something's got to be done. We can't let these people carry on. It's going to be unbearable if we carry it.
Well, Stu, look what's happening in France. I mean, this goes to show you when
it's not just
people have
not
enough.
Just France.
No, I know it's not, but France is a big example of what.
Yeah.
These riots, they can't control them. They can't control them. When the people have had enough, man, that's it, man. It's just.
And that's a problem.
That Macron is a piece of
Oh.
Can I say it?
He's a weirdo.
No.
He's a weirdo. His wife is way older than him. His wife is way older.
And from the way I understand the story, that was his school teacher in high school.
Yeah, it was.
Apparently, she didn't fuck him when they were in high school. She did it when he got out of high school. That's bullshit. That's bullshit, okay?
That is bullshit. She groomed him.
Yeah, she groomed him.
Let me tell you something. What's going on in France right now? All that protesting and burning cars and all that. That's why I'm an advocate of having antidepressants and fluoride in the water, because people are getting too angry. They're turning over cars. No, that's not going to happen on my watch. No, sorry, Bob. We need to control people.
BDA communists, the communist BDA. Look, I understand your position, but this is what happens when you fuck with the people so long that they've had enough, and he's in a bad situation from the way I understand it. Now, it might work out for him, right? Because he is an elite, and some Western strong nation, let's say, I don't know, like America, might step in because we know that they're bitches for a certain group, and yeah, I'll just leave it at that. But they might step in, but by the looks of it, this tells me that when a group of people decide, a country, a nation decides enough is enough, you're not gonna no longer do whatever the hell you want without asking us and making us pay for it. On top of that, it's one thing. Look, if you want to, if anybody on this panel, you want people to live in your house, that's fine. That's cool. To go take as many people you want in your house. Don't ask me to take them into my house without asking me. You're gonna jam them in my house, and if I start defending myself, I'm the bad person.
That's a fair point. That's an absolutely fair point.
I wanted to bring up something that happened in England recently.
Go ahead.
All right, so Stu, as you know, we triumphed over Manchester City yesterday.
You did indeed smash them to pieces.
However, a particular issue overshadowed our victory, and it has to do with
the races.
Raheem Sterling, after he fouled the hell out of David Luiz.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I think the Chelsea.
I want to hear this. It sounds good.
Hold on. So this guy, his name, guys, Raheem Sterling. So my guy David Luiz went for the ball. Raheem Sterling jumped up at him. He could have went backward, went to the left, or went to the right. He jumped right up at him and he like hit him in his stomach, and he almost took him out of the game. So David Luiz went over to the side to go heal up, and then the ball was kicked out of play, and Raheem Sterling went to get the ball, and there were these white dudes who screamed at Raheem Sterling. Apparently, he claims they said some racial stuff to him. But overall, it's becoming this big blown up issue. Raheem Sterling's talking about, the Prem League. It doesn't care about black people.
All right, reverse. I appreciate you
Hang on a
taking.
minute. Is this Raheem Sterling that's on £230,000 a week? I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
little
he's really
thought
hard
walk,
done, but
Raheem
look,
Sterling.
You're not. I'm a Chelsea supporter. We have our bad apples at that club, right? You're not gonna. Don't matter what these lefty liberals tell you. All these fucking butthurt minorities that get offended by the sight
Oh,
of
here we go.
a white person. You know what I'm saying? None of them. The fact is, you're gonna have these people that are going to be racist, no matter what you tell them, no matter how you school them, no matter how you punish them. There is always going to be racists out there. So yeah, Chelsea have had its problem, but Chelsea has millions and millions of supporters around the world. Are we really going to judge a whole football club and its fans by two pieces of shit in a crowd?
I'm a Chelsea supporter.
Yeah.
I'm black. So
You guys with your fucking Premier League. Let me tell you something. Third division. That's what the real action is. That's where the real fans are. And I'm a Millwall fan all the way. So you can keep your fucking Chelsea and your Manchester United.
No one likes us. No one likes us.
All right. So reverse. Reverse. Thank you for taking us away from the immigrant bashing that was going on. It was disgraceful, really. But I like you guys, so I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna forgive this. I'm gonna overlook it. But
no one's bashing immigrants. No one's
shut
bashing
up.
immigrants.
Yes, you were. Especially Jimmy with his racist statistics and his racist white man science. That shit has no place on this podcast. Let me tell you that much right now. No, sorry, Bob. No racist statistics, no racist science, no rape apologists, and no fascists. Right? That's what they call it.
I think I just got deplatformed.
BDA, I know you're joking, but they're actually trying to do that. They're actually trying to get rid of white science and replace it with black African science.
Yeah, I know, man.
Like
I know.
Universities in
Listen,
America.
they have the left. Every argument the left has, like you just sit back and listen to them argue, and they eat each other. Look what they just did to that kid Kevin, the fucking kid for the Oscars. They went back 9 years to find the tweet. 9 years, and he's like, I didn't repeat. Come on, this is bullshit. I'm not going to apologize until his agent told him he had to, or they were going to drop him. That's the reason why he apologized, and he still got dropped by the Oscars. So listen, they feign outrage. None of them, they don't have an actual
Kevin
ground.
The thing is, though, bro, these lefties, right? What they don't realise is they're actually making people that angry that people are that angry that they'll actually burn their fucking towns and cities down, mate, if they have to take these people out. And they can only keep pushing this shit on us for so long before you poke you're something saying you poke the bear.
Do you even know why this is the way this is even happening? Because of social media. The reason this happened when I was growing up, right when I was in my prime, my 20s, if you wanted the public square, if you wanted to speak your mind, you wanted your theories out there, you had to do it in the public, right, amongst everybody. These meek last kids pick for fucking kickball didn't come out. Nobody noticed them. The meek weren't noticed. The alpha males were, so they carried the scene. That's what was always going on. Now these fucking, all you have to do is look at Hogg and look at all these other kids who are on there, the social justice. They all got these little fucking, they look like, what did I say before? Prepubescent boys, I read. It's so fucking true. They're all just these little meeky, skinny jean wearing freaks. And if it wasn't for social media, they'd have no voice. So once this fad goes away, fucking, we'll get back to where it was.
Most lefties, they join left-wing groups because they're not really parts of society. They don't get any girls at school. They don't get any attention.
Like the furries.
Usually the females are very fucking ugly and overweight, so they're not getting much attention, and they just feel left out. They haven't got much friends. They're classed as geeks, so they have to feel part of something. So they get together and these Antifa and so on, and the balls grow for a few seconds. But let's be real, half of these lefties, they actually grow out of it. They'll actually get to their 30s and look back and think, what a
and
fucking...
be like, what the fuck, yeah.
What was I doing? It's the universities, mate. They are brainwashing these people. Like I've seen nothing like it in my life. This brainwashing, I've seen nothing like it. These kids are coming out of these not knowing anything worth a fucking toss in the real world, but they're coming out with political agendas and political fucking. Well, they're all left. Oh god.
Well, I want to ask. I want to. I want to. Hold on.
Sorry.
No, go ahead, Reagan. Then I want to ask a question. But go ahead, Reagan.
There's a saying that today's conservative used to be yesterday's lefty. And they'll ask, well, what changed his mind? He got robbed.
That's
you get it?
Yeah.
So he got robbed one day.
Well, I mean, it's true.
Changed his whole outlook. He said,
it's true to a certain extent. Because it's all about most liberals. They have good intentions.
Not really.
Well, I mean, most of them, yeah, because they want everybody to be, equal. They don't want people to suffer.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
Well, hold on a second. I know it's dumb. Their method is dumb, but at least they're trying to, I think.
Okay, when you say somebody has to be equal, you're taking into account that everybody can be born the same way.
I know.
Even with men and men. For instance,
I know, but I'm just saying.
I'm 5'2.5". Recognized as what, like 5'11", right?
No, I think he's 6 foot.
6'2". Okay, so recognized has an entire foot ahead of me. Me and him are never going to be equal.
There's a rumor that I'm 5'2".
Yeah, that was
BDA is saying
equality. I want to be equal to Floyd Mayweather when he's getting paid.
Yeah.
I want to be equal.
But we all discriminate.
Mayweather when he's walking in restaurants and getting free food, and when he's walking in the casinos and getting his penthouse for him.
But what I think BDA was trying to say, and I agree.
I want that. If that's equal.
Well, I think BDA is saying the left, their intentions, they're coming from a place of, in their heart, in their heads, they're coming from a place of good. They're saying, listen, we don't want people starving. We want, these poor people to have good things. But it's not at the expense. When the minute you tell somebody that you have to, no matter what, they try to use democratic socialism. When you're telling another man to take his money that he worked for, and you're going to take it from him under fear of going to prison, because that's what it is. It's gunpoint. You either pay, you get a fine. You don't pay the fine, you go in more fines. Then you eventually go to jail. So if you don't, at the point of gun, they're going to take your money to give it to some undeserving slob. Fuck that.
Look at that absolute fucking melt. That I mean, sorry, recognized, but that Puerto Rican girl, what's her name?
Alexander-Cortez.
Oh my
Alexander-Cortez. She's fucking piece of shit.
28-year-old bartender.
She has to be the stupidest motherfucker.
Who's the 28-year-old bartender? Let's be honest.
She's a woman. She's a woman. She's a woman.
The eyes tell you everything.
James Wood, did you see what James Wood?
Nobody's experienced with crazy Puerto Rican women like me.
Chain snatching, jive ass, maricon motherfuckers.
Hey, you could get a donkey and put a fucking Democrat ribbon on it, and the Latinos would vote it, man.
Remember, she only got 14,000 votes. She came from a small district, but what's seeing happening now is you can so tell it's so true. James Wood tweeted, "Well, I'm not a betting man, but I'll." Normally gambling, but I'll give you 101. She's having an aide take over a Twitter account. You can see it. It's just written different. She'll tweet some ridiculous, embarrassing thing like cringeworthy. And then underneath it right away, like within 10 minutes, this perfectly worded thing trying to cover it. Must be going, oh my God, she's talking again. Well, did you guys see that she's been, as of yesterday, 3 sanctions were filed against her. She hasn't even taken her seat yet.
She's the worst. She's so
three complaints. No, this is important. 3 complaints have been filed against her in government. There's been 3 complaints because she threatened on Twitter to use subpoena powers against somebody for making memes about her. So she's going to get in trouble for that.
This is what I understand about the girl. First of all, she's a liar. She tried to come off like she was Jenny from the block that got into politics and won. Okay, no. First of all, she grew up in Westchester, not the Bronx, not the South Bronx. There's a big difference. Anybody from New York will tell you.
Westchester, Long Island is one of the nicest fucking neighborhoods in the Northeast.
And Westchester County, okay, that is one of the most richest. It's probably the richest I don't know, but it's probably the richest. It's up there, county in all of New York. Okay, so that's where she comes from. Her mother and father did very good for themselves. I'm gonna guess that's what happened. Mommy and daddy did really well. Cortez is a hype job, for lack of a better word, that was put out there, and they're telling her what to. They're saying, "Listen, say whatever you want. We're gonna back you. You're gonna get in. Whoever wants her in. We're gonna use you as an experiment. The experiment is how stupid are the voters."
She's got a nice ass and a pretty smile. I mean, I'd hate fucking her. Don't get me wrong,
I
but
wouldn't. She looks scary, man. She was like, kill me in my sleep.
She looks like the kind of girl that tells you. She's the kind of girl that dates you, and you finds out. You tell her ahead of time, like you had a kid, and she's like, "Oh, that's okay. It's that's the past." And like 2 years into the relationship, she's like, "Why did you have a kid with her? You don't want a kid with me with those crazy eyes."
That's why I said. That's why I said hate fucker, not date her. Hate
I'll be
fucker.
like, "Listen,
Put your foot in the back of her neck.
You don't want to. You're afraid to tell her the truth, right? You're afraid of like, baby, with those crazy eyes, I don't want to have no fucking kids with you. Are you crazy?"
She wouldn't know what the truth is. She's been caught in
the
lie
type of
after lie.
girl to list everything you've done wrong. Like keep a checklist of
She's the kind of girl that
you
I
put the
confess-
forks in the spoons.
No, she's the sort of girl. She's the sort of girl that gets offended when you fuck her too hard.
Yeah. And when you don't.
Yeah.
She's the type of girl that gets offended when you call her honey.
No, because
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when you don't.
She's the girl that gets offended when you don't open the door for her, even though she has two arms.
Type of chick that gets pissed off when you grab her ass and lie at the bank.
She's the type of girl she gets.
Just kidding.
She's the kind of girl that gets her ass fat on purpose, and then when you tell her, "Damn, baby, you got a fat ass," she says, "Why you said that to me? Why you disrespecting me like that?"
Yeah. Why you gotta be like
Type of girl
that?
like, does
Why
this
you
look
gotta
fat
be
on
like
me, honey?
that?
And if you say yes or no, you get your ass beat.
I like the chicks in the slut walks. The fucking dress like total whores, and then they say, "No, this doesn't represent who I am."
I tell you what, though, right? Hey, I tell you what, I've dated a couple of these lefty mutts in my days, right? And they are the filthiest slappers you'll ever meet.
Yeah, Stu, they're full of shit, aren't they?
Because they all got daddy issues,
hang on a minute.
dude.
Hold on.
Fucking hell, man. Jesus Christ, fuck's sake.
Go ahead, Stu.
Makes me not even want to finish my story when I get interrupted all the time, man.
Stu, go ahead.
Stu's gonna ban everybody.
These fucking these girls, man, were pure filth, and they had rich parents. One of them was a farmer's wife. She had her own horse and all land and everything, and she was a real posh girl. I spoke with, and I tell you what, she was a pure filth. I mean, you could bungee jump off her vagina.
Oh man,
Stu, they're all full of shit, right? They're all full of shit. They like to be dominated, but they say they champion feminism.
Stu, did she have the kind of hole that every time you stuck it in, it just went?
Let me ask you, when most of the what are most of these?
Like a maze finding the fucking hole. It was that fucking sad.
Listen, what are most of those feminists and fucking social justice warriors? They all have one thing in common. They all hate men, right? Because listen, any chick who hates men, the one reason, daddy issues, and they're always the dirtiest pigs.
You know what's?
But they're lunatics.
You know
what's
crazy? You know what's crazy about them? They know how to pick out the white knight and the guy that they want to destroy them. It's like they want to relive this recurring, tragedy. That's exactly 13. You're right. Tragedy. Okay. So the nice guy, right? The nice guy comes along and he's agreeing with her with everything. Dude, she don't like you. She does not like you.
Desperate,
she says you're desperate and she thinks you're actually weak. Right?
Not dogs, they can smell desperate.
Oh yeah, they can smell
far
desperateness. Now, when you treat her right, when she complains, right? Let's just use a character, right? Let's say Betty is talking shit about. Oh, I hate Stu. Stu is a bastard. I fucking hate Stu. Right? Stu is a piece of shit. And
that's my best friend.
But deep down inside,
like my ex.
Let me finish, Stu. Right? And let's say for the sake of this conversation, let's say BDA is like, you're right, Stu's a piece of shit.
Oh.
You know, you don't need to go through that and whatnot. And Stu's trying to and Stu's not even paying attention to her. Every time he sees her, he doesn't mind getting into insulting her. He's like, well, fuck it. If she's gonna get insulted, that's her problem. And BDA is being nice to her, you know, and trying to make sure he doesn't. Who do you think she wants to fuck?
Yeah, at the end of the night, BDA's asleep with his cock in his hand, and I'm getting my action. And
Let me tell you something.
Hey, BDA, I'm sorry I used you as the white knight.
Yeah, obviously I'll use your example, but yeah, of course, no woman wants a soft.
I can't do it.
No.
You know, my personality, I can be quite miserable, and I'm quite old school in my ways, and they get off on it. They get off on me being a fucking miserable cunt sometimes, and being, you know, not, if I'm all creepy around them, oh, give us a cuddle, love, they're not gonna like that. Do you know what I mean? I just keep my distance from them, not too fucking too lovey-dovey with them, and just keep it calm and collected, and a bit moody now and again, and they get off on it. And I don't.
To ask you a question, you see these feminists you date, when you talk to them, do they change their opinions?
Well, this is a thing.
Are they still the same?
This is the thing. I've not really dated a feminist for a while. Do you know what I mean? I'm going back just about 4 or 5 years now. That the last one I was talking about. I don't, you know, my views on them are so low. I don't think I can stay too long with one anymore. Do you know what I mean? So,
all right.
But yeah, they give this prim and proper act, but they are the dirtiest women you'll ever meet in your life.
Let me say something here. First of all, for recognize and Stu saying that I'm the white knight, I gotta tell you something.
Hey, do you think I'm gonna have that? Do you really think I'm gonna have that, you ponce?
Not gonna have that. Second of all, there's, before we go, because we do have to go, there's two types of white knights. There's the white knight who's naive and who really believes that what he's doing is gonna get him some pussy, and then there's the white knight who is the most despicable type of man you can find, and we as men can smell them from a mile away. They're the type of guys that end up saying shit like, oh, you know, I wish women ruled the world, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, whoops, it turns out they're harassing women in the workplace. They've already raped a woman. So those are the type of guys, or they're sadists. Those are the types of dangerous.
I mean, I see this video with Owen Schroyer, and he's speaking to fucking this cook, this beta man, and he goes,
"Oh, I hate food in the microwave."
Yeah, who's using a microwave, man? What the fuck?
That was me.
Some chicken nuggets.
Is always the one making food.
Yeah, if you're gonna make your chicken,
I'm a hungry man. What do you want from me?
If you're gonna heat your chicken nuggets, please mute your mic, man. Come on. All right, Stu. Sorry, go ahead, Stu.
I see this video of Owen Schroyer, and he was talking to this beta male cook, and he was all offended about Trump, and he goes, "Oh, what Donald Trump? I just don't like a lot of things." He goes, "Well, name one." And he goes, "Oh, well, he likes to kiss pretty girls." I'm thinking, and Owen Schroyer goes, "What
a bitch."
You don't. I thought, what sort of mouths are we breeding in the West, where a guy's getting offended by the president because he likes to date pretty girls? What planet are we on?
Did I tell you about the commercial that I saw where it was a Google commercial and the dudes Googled the word masculine, and they said that that's putting too much pressure on society to expect men to be that. And it was like it was this full really paid for Google advertisement that I saw for like a couple of weeks on all my YouTube videos.
Mm-hmm. Revenge of the Nerds. Seriously,
that's all it is. Jimmy hit it right on the
all
nose.
it is.
Revenge of the Nerds. That's
These
all
motherfuckers built the internet, and it's their revenge. And they're getting fucking seriously. But what's going to happen? Like Stu keeps saying, it's only going to get pushed so far, and then it's going to be ugly.
There's going to be
real ugly.
Every big empire has crumbled. Every big empire has crumbled eventually. The Egyptian Empire, the Roman Empire, the Ottoman Empire, all these empires, the Persian Empire. These empires will. I know we don't have empires these days, but globalism is basically the same thing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Basically,
you know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah.
Globalism's getting its dick kicked in.
And this global homo that they're promoting.
Hey. Also, hey, did you hear what no, what did this kid tell me earlier today? No, what did one fat feminist say to the other fat feminist?
Oh no.
Who cares? They're fat chicks.
Oh no.
He said the kid goes up. I met some kids. He goes, "Hey, what did a fat feminist say to the other fat feminist?" I'm like, "I don't know." And he goes, "Who cares? They're fat chicks." This kid was a college kid who just went berserk.
Who cares?
Recognize what you eating.
Most feminists.
Yeah, you guys can hear me.
Most feminists are boss-eyed misfits. Let's be real, aren't they?
All right, listen. Listen, we
I'm
gotta
still
end it.
dying of the microwave.
No, listen, we gotta.
No, he's over there popping the microwave.
Listen, guys.
For those chicken nuggets.
We gotta end this show. We gotta end the show, guys.
Who puts Pop-Tarts in the microwave?
Hold on a second.
Hey, don't lie, dude. Don't lie. Have you ever been on this show dropping a fucking stone?
No, I never do that.
Have you ever been on where you've been juicing? Come on.
Well, I took a shower.
Boxing style.
All right, listen. Hold on a second. Hold on, guys.
Lomachenko dropped.
Guys.
Does anybody ever watch this podcast?
We gotta go, guys.
Masturbating to porn on the side.
Oh, Jesus, listen. Fuck that shit. This show is getting out of control. This show is getting out. I'm going to have to start muting people. This show is getting out of control. We do have to go. All right? So let's.
The kids are tired.
The kids are tired, and we're going to get shut down because of your bigoted opinions. I don't like it. I just want to say, I put the disclaimer up like 15 times to let people know that these views.
Once again, I just got to say that BDA does not co-sign what we say. He doesn't endorse what we say.
That's right.
Our opinions. He actually likes Trudeau. He likes Macron. He actually likes this whole new world agenda. Okay.
And I'm medicated, and I even have a note to prove it. So.
And praise be to
everybody.
Allah.
You have a great night. Peace be with everybody.
Peace be with everybody. BDA, peace, bro.
Peace, everybody. Thanks for coming. All praise to Allah. What else? Let's play.
Praise be Allah. Salam alaikum wa alaikum salam.
Allahu Akbar.
Let's play the boxing debate arena theme. Oh shit, that's not it. Sorry. That's gonna be the new one, guys. Thanks for joining us. I want to thank. Let's see if I can get all the names correct here. We had obviously Recognized. We had Precise. We had not the boxing style. Reverse Lee. We had Apology Man. We had Jimmy. We had 13 Rounds Boxing. Guerrero de la Info. Cameron was here earlier as well. Bucho, my co-host as well. Shout out to him. Who else was here? Fuck. If I forgot anybody, I'm tired right now, so you gotta give me a little bit of respite here. If I forgot anybody, you'd let me know here in the panel. Maybe I'll remember while I'm going through the chat room here. Let's give a shout out to everybody in the chat room. Grievous, Overhand, 100% X, Pop-Tart Gone, James Doherty, Red Glove Militant, Kinetic Golovkin, Undercover Asian, The Fight Scout, Nino Gaji, Ryuk Roka, Hucker Mustang, David Letterman was in the chat room too, I think. Joe Lopez, 40 Ounce, James Doherty, Pop-Tart Gone, Virtuoso, GoFlow, The Punisher, Reese Mack, and many more people. Gonzalo Anaya, and many more people. Of course, I can't go through them all, but you guys know who you are. The Fight Scout, Boxing Style was in there as well. You guys know who you are. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for bearing with us through the technical difficulties. And we'll see you in the next one, folks. Take care. Oh, and Steven Schneider, too, I think. He also donated it as well. Apology donated as well. So thanks a lot for the contributions. We'll see you on the next one, folks. Take care.